following is a presentation of the Big Ten Conference.
Ready for action between Michigan State and Boston College. A chilly night here in East Lansing for Bill O'Brien's debut in this stadium. He's never coached here, said he was really looking forward to the atmosphere, felt like it was going to be a great opportunity for his team to see what Big Ten football is all about.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. And look, these are two very similar teams. Second-year head coaches. I think two of the guys that are both fairly underrated in terms of being quality head coaches, and they've got teams that have high expectations for this season.
This could be a turning point in either season very early in the season. A win could set you on the path with momentum the rest of the way towards a bowl game. A loss could certainly derail any of what you built up in week one. Michigan State won the toss, elected to defer. So that means one of the great punters in the nation, Ryan Eckley, is going to send it away. And Bo McCormick is back. The freshman, one of the elite all-time Massachusetts running backs, has the all-time rushing yards leader in Massachusetts with nearly 7,000 in a high school career. We are underway. Fair catch called for and made at the 3. So this will be a solid start for Boston College and their quarterback, Dylan Lonergan, the transfer from Alabama in his second game.
Played really well in their opening game. Now look, it was an overmatched opponent in Fordham, but look at those numbers for the first time starting. He was decisive, he was accurate, the ball got out quick, he spread it around to a lot of different targets, and the 4 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. You'll take that every week if you're Bill O'Brien.
Only played 3 quarters because it was such a dominant effort from the Eagles. He's got Turbo Richard, the sophomore running back, in the backfield with him on first down out of the gun. Skeet the motion man, quick throw. Lewis Bond had 11 catches last week, and this first one's getting back to the line of scrimmage. Good penetration by Wayne Matthews, the third, to take down the best offensive threat from this Boston College side.
Well, Bond is the guy who had a huge game a year ago. 10 catches, including the game-winning 42-yard touchdown pass against this Michigan State team in the last couple minutes. Up front, a couple new starters. They lost a couple to the NFL. Logan Taylor, probably the most experienced guy of that group.
Richard stays in there on second down and 10. They wanted to establish the run, but it's back-to-back passes to start the game, and nobody was home for Lonergan. Third down.
A little miscommunication that time between Lonergan and Jeremiah Franklin, his tight end. He was drifting, Lonergan was drifting, and now they've got a third down and long.
This Michigan State defense was suffocating last week against Western Michigan. Didn't allow any points. The only points from Western came from a pick 6.
Showing pressure and drawing the audible at the line of scrimmage.
Third and 10. They'll drop back. Rushing 3. Lonergan steps up. Lonergan goes down. The Spartans get home. Anello Lafelle, the first man there.
Well, this is a chess match that Joe Rossi won. So they're showing pressure, right? But as soon as the ball snapped, they're going to drop out and drop 8 and rush 3. They called a man route, but it's against 8 dropping in zone, and there's nowhere to go with the football for Lonergan, and they've got a punt.
So Seamus Florio, there are 2 punters on this Boston College roster. One of them is Irish, and it's not Seamus, as he'll get it away. And Amari Kelly, one of the transfer wide receivers, will take this from the 32. Kelly looking to find a space. He lost the ball, and Boston College is right there. The Eagles get a gift in the early going with a flag down. So we'll wait to hear Jerry Malaganis, our referee. ACC crew here today, and Magallanes will give us the official rule momentarily.
The ruling on the field, a fumble recovered by the kicking team. Holding receiving team number 17 is declined. First down, Boston College.
Well, Jonathan Smith told us yesterday they have a lot of trust in Amari Kelly in the return game. Coming over from Middle Tennessee, a veteran who's played a lot of football, couldn't keep it in his grasp.
I'm not sure if this was his own teammate that knocked the ball out, but it came out as he kind of collided with 2 players and the first turnover of the game. You could see that ball got knocked out, and turnovers were the difference in this game a year ago. 3 interceptions by Boston College.
This one's going to go around the edge, slipping away Jaden Skeet dragging tacklers with him past that first down yard to gain. He got 13 on first down.
This is something that Boston College did not show any of in week one. The jet sweep or the fly sweep. This is a big part of what they like to do. Jaden Skeet, watch the block by the wide receiver, number 4, Reed Harris. He is a big physical wide receiver. There's a block by Bond also. And again, this is a big part of what they like to do offensively. Did not show one play of the fly sweep a week ago.
Defensive coordinator Joe Rossi has talked about next play mentality and recovering quickly. As the first actual run up the middle for Turbo Richard is going to go for 6 yards. Last week, the first play of the game, you see Rossi there up top, against Western Michigan was an explosive, and they recovered immediately, got off the field.
Yep.
See if the defense can do the same.
Well, and for Boston College, a couple good runs in a row. Everything that they did well last week, the one thing they did not do well was run the football against Fordham. Only 97 yards on 39 carries. Those were back-to-back positive runs for this Eagle offense.
See if they go back to Richard, and they do on 2nd down and 5. He finds the space, and we'll see where they spot him. Close to that first down, and they will give it to him. Jordan Hall makes the tackle after a gain of 6.
Watch him pull the right tackle out in front of this play. They're going to kind of pin on the outside and then pull the tackle. Good block by the 2 tight ends. And good power running. And already in about 3 plays, they look better running the football than they did last week against the Fordham defense.
Well, we expected this offensive line to play better this week.
Yeah, they heard an earful all week. They kind of had a chip on their shoulder. Now a jumbo formation, 3 tight ends in for BC.
Fake the pitch, Lonergan, swing it. Richard has to beat one, and he does down the sideline. Richard stays on his feet, lost the ball. Michigan State is there, and it's a touchback. Or do they call him down at the 1? They're going to say Richard
The ruling on the field, the runner was down. Beyond the line
was
again,
down
1st and goal, Boston
at the
College.
1-yard line. Let's see if that's the case. And it is not.
The ball's out before he's down. I mean, it was a close play, but the ball was definitely out first.
And Jordan Hall ripped it.
Yeah, he sure did. You know, you see a teammate that's got him wrapped up. You can go for the football, and that's what Jordan Hall
play
did.
is under further review.
Done.
See the quick recovery. They will take a look at it and see if Armarion Smith found possession after the rip from Hall. Michigan State gave it away on the punt return, and they may have just taken it back. We'll get the official rule when we come back from East Lansing.
The review, the runner fumbled the ball. It was recovered in the end zone by Michigan State. The result of the play is a touchback. 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line, Michigan State.
As expected, the rip from Hall eventually results in the fumble recovery. However, if you look at the back end of this play, Jordan Hall holding his left pec area as he jogged off the field. That is the worst possible thing for this Michigan State defense.
Yeah, one of the real leaders. All the coaches said nobody had a better camp than Jordan Hall from start to finish.
So the Spartans' first offensive possession starts from their own 20. And a handoff to Mekhi Frazier. Had a big game last week in the win over Western, gains 4 on first down. Aiden Childs, this is the big test for him in a rematch against a team he threw 3 picks against.
Yeah, I mean, he's so gifted and so talented. He got off to a good start last week, particularly in the first half. Throwing the ball accurately, making some plays as a runner. He is a true dual threat guy. And again, his maturity from year 1 to year 2 will determine how far this team goes.
2nd down and 5. Childs through his progressions over the middle. It's caught. The high point at the 40. What a grab. Jaden Savory goes up top to gain 16.
Well, this is Aiden Childs not panicking because it's not going to open up quick. He's reading left. It's not there. But he doesn't panic and take off running. And at the last minute, he spots a backup tight end down the field and gets him the football for a positive gain.
For a guy who doesn't play that much, that's a heck of a catch.
Yeah.
Fresh set of downs now at the 41. They ran the ball very effectively in the first half. This is where Childs can be dangerous. Design run and showing off the shiftiness with a flag down. He got down to midfield, but we'll see what the call is.
Well, last year in Boston, the Spartans.
Personal foul, face mask defense, number 88. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the play. First down.
That's Sedarius McConnell, their starting defensive tackle. As you're going to see it right there, grab the face mask and not let go. But last year, Childs had 57 yards rushing of their 127. He is a very dangerous runner because he's big and he actually gained 15 pounds this offseason. So even stronger than he was a year ago. That was a design quarterback run. He will hurt you in those plays and also when he just improvises and extends plays.
First down from the 35. They do have some kicking issues with some injuries, so they'll be more aggressive in this area of the field, but they might not need to. Frazier gets down the sideline, evades and gains 13 on first down.
Well, this is good job. Watch the offensive line just kind of get on their tracks, and it's an outside zone play. And it's always able to cut back. You see that defense over pursue? Good vision by Frazier, and he just kind of cuts it back, and it's bad pursuit by the backside of that Boston College defense.
Jonathan Smith so excited about the stride Mekhi Frazier has taken and his childhood buddy Brandon Tullis. The two of them combined for a big rushing day last week. And they feel like the reps have done them a lot of good. A little trickeration on the reverse. It's Amari Kelly. Oh, he lets a hurdle and lost the ball again. And Boston College couldn't squeeze it. Bam Crouch had a chance, and he could not vacuum it in.
Rolling on the field. The ball was fumbled forward out of bounds. Will be returned to the fumbling spot. Second down.
Amari Kelly is one of the most impressive players for Michigan State last week. He already has 2 gaffes in this first quarter.
Well, he kicked the ball out himself. I mean, he was upended by Omar Thornton, but he actually kicked the football out of his own arm. Watch. It's not hit by a defender. It's his left knee that knocks the ball out, trying to hurdle the defender, and very fortunate that that ball squirted out of bounds.
So the spot was where the fumble was supposed to occur, but it's going back now. So it was initially going to be a gain of 3. Instead, it's a loss of 1 back to the 22.
No, I think this game comes down to 2 things. Who wins the turnover battle? Last year was 3-0 in favor of BC. And who creates the most explosive plays in the passing game?
Already a turnover apiece, not even midway through the first. Tullis finds the hole, and he gains 8.
Tullis is a little bigger back than Frazier, and the thing they just want him to do is just, he's a little taller, a little bigger, just run behind his pads, stay low, and that time a good first run in the ball game for him.
And Jonathan Smith has talked about how much this will help Aiden Childs getting into these third and manageable.
Absolutely. Better down and distance. Run pass threat is both there. This is 4-down territory also, I think, for Michigan State right now on this opening drive.
2 tight ends on this 3rd and 1. Frazier back in there. They give. Frazier patient, pushing, didn't get there. Gets denied before the line to gain. 3 Eagles in the area, and Jonathan Smith has his decision, but it certainly looks like the offense initially is going to stay out there.
Well, first of all, you've got some momentum because you got a good drive. Second of all, you mentioned they've got some kicking issues. They've got a couple different guys. One guy to try short kicks, one guy to try longer kicks, a true freshman long snapper. He told us he's probably going to be more aggressive on 4th down. Well, here it is, the first one of the ball game.
They were 1 for 1 last week against Western. 4th and 1. Childs will keep, and Childs has it. First down, Spartans.
A good surge up front. Now this offensive line has 3 new starters. And the key acquisition was the center. Watch him follow that center, Matt Goldman, who came from Wake Forest. Right behind the center, they have a new starter at right guard in Caleb Carter, who came over from Western Carolina, and a new starter at right tackle, Connor Moore, from Montana State. And they really feel like they're better in the O-line, and they're better at the wide receiver position than they were a year ago.
We'll see if they go to the outside here on 1st and goal. Fake the pitch, Childs. Couldn't get away this time. Sniffed out by this Eagles defense. Bam Crouch, one of the leaders and captains, had a pick 6 last week against Fordham. Comes up with a nice tackle there.
Yeah, I think Quan Williams, number 55, watch him just close this play down. I mean, he's going to take his man and knock him back into the play and just fall right to the quarterback. Quan Williams, number 55, is a powerful guy, and then Bam Crouch is there to kind of finish it off, but the play was disrupted inside by Quan Williams of BC.
Second and goal. Kelly, the motion man. Childs to the air. Looks, throws, end zone, it's dropped. Jack Velling, his fellow Oregon State transfer, finally getting healthy, found a soft spot, but couldn't bring it in.
Yeah, this is pretty good coverage by BC. You know, when you're in this part of the field, everything shrinks. Here's Velling. He's going to run to that spot right there, and Childs holds on to it as long as he can, just doesn't get quite enough air underneath it, and it sails over Velling's head. Velling is a guy who also transferred from Oregon State with Aiden Childs. He's been hurt most all of training camp, so he's just kind of now getting back into playing shape.
Third and goal from the 11. Childs over the middle. It's Nick Marsh's first catch of the day. Look at the strength. Nick Marsh. Are you not entertained? Touchdown, Spartans.
Amari Jackson just got taken for a ride. I mean, this is a big physical receiver. He did not play against BC last year, but he is playing tonight, and he just gave Amari Jackson, their best cover corner, a pony ride into the end zone for the first touchdown of the ball game. It's a safe throw. It looked like it was going to be stopped short and settled for a field goal, and Nick Marsh had other plans for that play.
Blake Sislo, the D2 Davenport transfer, fifth-year senior, adds the extra point. This is one of the best freshmen in the country last year. Now back for his sophomore season, and the local Michigan kid puts Michigan State up early with the first score of the night. And Peacock. A look at the United Cam here in East Lansing. Spartans excited after finally cashing in. Bizarre start to this game, just past the midway point of the first quarter. Boston College looked like they were threatening, about to take it in. The Spartans take it back, march down the field, and the touchdown pass from Childs to Marsh, a combination that everybody in East Lansing has gotten plenty excited and comfortable with.
Well, we knew he was going to get fed some more balls tonight because he had a pretty quiet night in their opener. That was an explosive first catch for him.
Eckley will kick it away, and this will be another touchback.
Well, we've seen some crazy bouncing of the ball so far in this game. We know that turnovers are going to be big. This was on the punt return. Kelly puts it on the ground, gives BC a short field, and a few plays later, what looked like was going to be a touchdown ends up a turnover by the Eagles. This one didn't get away from the Spartans, but still, Omar Kelly's got to do a better job of taking care of the football the rest of this ball game.
So you see one takeaway apiece. Todd mentioned how important of a role that played in last year's matchup, which was a narrow victory in favor of the Eagles in the fourth quarter. Jonathan Smith said, just talk to Pete Carroll, he'll tell you that games are won in the fourth quarter. Right now, the Spartans are trying to win it in the first as Ben Roberts makes the tackle. We go to KT.
Yeah, guys, and good to see Jordan Hall out there on defense. On the last drive, he came off the field. He did not go to the medical tent, but he was being worked on the bench by trainers. They were kind of feeling that chest area out with his pads on while he was reviewing plays on the iPad, and he also had the most grass stains of every jersey on that bench, guys. So he's working hard out there, but good to see him back on the line.
Well, some things never change. The junior is always around making plays. Seems like he's in the middle of the action. Good to see him back out there on this drive. Put Reed Harris in motion on second down and 8. Lonergan, good protection in the pocket. He just floats it to his tight end, Jeremiah Franklin, and they love his pass-catching ability on the outside.
And that's just a good concept right there. I think we're going to see a little tempo now from BC, but they put the back out there, and that stretches the linebacker. As soon as you see that linebacker stretch, that opens up the hole for the tight end. It's a little two-man route and a good quick read by Dylan Lonergan.
Timeout. Defensive player injury.
Well, Michigan State's defense has had an excellent start to this game. They're missing Nakai Martinez, the free safety, and now Malik Spencer, the strong safety, is down. We'll check on him when we come back.
over Florida, Noah.
Fire me up, Fanta. Come on now.
That's South Florida now. Didn't they get after Boise State in the first
They sure did.
weekend?
Sure did.
Knocked
That's
them around.
two big wins from USF, and they've got Miami next week. Could be just a phenomenal start to the season if you find a way to get that one done. That's a 1-yard run for Boston College. But going back to what we saw before the break, this was Malik Spencer, who is so vital to the back line of this defense.
Yeah, he's a real leader. He plays hard, practices hard, loves the physicality of the game, and hard to see what it could have been there. Hopefully he can get back in the ball game.
Shovel pass back to Franklin, and the tight end tries to back his way towards midfield. He picks up a couple to the 44-yard line and brings up third down.
You know, we talked about the areas where this Michigan State team is better through the portal. Wide receiver, yes. Offensive line, yes. Defensive line also. They went out and brought in some transfers the last couple of years. They've got more depth than they've had in a long time, and now on this third down play, they'll have their best pass rushers in the game. Remember the last third and long, they showed pressure, dropped 8 out at full Dylan Lonergan, and it ended up in a sack.
Some of those pass rushers include big number 11, Anelu Lafele, along with Brady Kelly, the Florida State transfer. Third down and 6. This time they bring 4. Lonergan, swing it, well short. Lewis Bond made the tackle and then got planted by Amarion Smith.
Yeah, that's just really good work. Really good work in terms of making a sure tackle in space. It's a good read by Lonergan. Get the ball to your best receiver and see if he can break a tackle and get a first down. But that was not going to happen. Smith was there for the sure tackle, and it forces a punt situation. Both these teams were happy with the way they tackled in week 1. Tackling in space early in the season sometimes is a problem.
Second return opportunity for Amari Kelly after he fumbled the first one. And this time he won't even get to it as it'll roll out of bounds at the 19-yard line. So Michigan State with a 7-0 lead after the 33-yard punt will start from the 19, late first.
Time now for Big Shots brought to you by Nissan. Let's talk about Aiden Childs. This was last year against BC, trying to force a ball into traffic, one of his 3 interceptions. Now, just a few moments ago, their last drive, he's surveying the field. He's going through his progressions. He's to number 3, and he hasn't really left the pocket, showing poise and using his eyes. And then the touchdown pass to Nick Marsh, a one-on-one read, gets it to his best receiver. So a good start so far for Aiden Childs.
We'll see what he has as an encore. This drive starts from the 19. Hand off for Frazier as he wiggles his way for 3. A big change for Childs this year was bringing in quarterback coach John Boyer, and it feels like that's been a match that's really been beneficial for both.
Yeah, it really has. As we take a look at this play now, this is part and parcel of what Michigan State likes to do. The stretch play, the quarterback reaches the ball out, and then they will go play action bootleg or play action pass off of that. I expect to see them go for a play action deep throw, kind of a deep crossing route somewhere in this possession.
Childs said that Boyer has been a little voice inside his head during these games. Here is your shot down the sideline. That was dangerous, tight coverage. He was looking for Marsh, and a nice job by Syer Torrance to stay with him.
Yeah, the ball was a little bit inside. That played into the hands of Torrance. If it's thrown over the outside shoulder, his receiver has a better shot. But watch, this ball's inside, and it allows the cornerback to kind of turn, find the ball, and make a play on it. Good job by Marsh not allowing that ball to be intercepted.
Turned into a defensive back, and yep, Childs looks like he knew it. So now here's a 3rd and 7. First real test on a 3rd and fairly long for the junior quarterback. Frazier in motion, play clock down to 3.
And coverage.
Childs, step back, deliver it again for Marsh. Does he have the speed to get to the edge? Stops on a dime. Marsh won't get there. Looked like he might have had the angle, but decided to stop. And Favor Bate is the one who finally leads the hit.
They had man coverage, so they had the right man beater route, the little shallow cross to their best receiver. We already saw Marsh's ability to break tackles. That time, BC was able to wrap him up short of the first down marker.
So Ryan Eckley will come to punt it away. Had a phenomenal game last week with 4 punts inside the 20. They'll send it away to Isaiah Ferris for the Eagles. Eckley gets a good one away. Ferris trying to track it. He'll let it go over his head. And how about another one inside the 20? That was a bomb off the foot of Eckley. And Alante Brown gets down the field to down it. Time now for the Modelo game break. Here's John Fanta.
To Norman, Oklahoma, Michigan, top 20 showdown. John Mateer to Deion Burks. He'll do the rest. Oklahoma goes right down the field with an opening drive. Touchdown, Sooners on top early.
I remember Michigan playing that first half without one of their best players, Jason Barham, the middle linebacker, got called for the targeting in the second half of our game last week against New Mexico, and he won't be available till the second half tonight.
Final 53 seconds of this first quarter, an eventful first quarter with only 7 points. Jordan McDonald is the back. Lonergan, deep drop, step into one over the middle of the field. He's got a man open in stride. He put it perfectly. V.J. Wilkins comes away with it on a gashing gain.
Well, this is a blitz. Now you're going to see a blitz, and it's picked up. So Lonergan knows he's got man-to-man down the field. He allows this crossing rate to happen. Remember, Spencer's out of the game. So there's 2 other safeties in the game, and they weren't in the right place on that long pass.
A beautiful ball for Lonergan. Yeah. That one's 56 yards.
Watch the route again. Deep crossing route. And the safety who's in the ball game, Devin Cromwell, number 27, not in good position to make a play on that one.
Wilkins, one of the transfers coming over from Campbell, where he spent 3 years, chose BC because he wanted to play for Bill O'Brien, help him get to that next level. Like a number of players on this team, the quarterback included, who just put a dot out there in his first road start of his young career. Boston College with a couple of disruptive plays, but it's the Spartans, the only team to get in the end zone so far with a 7-0 lead on Big Ten Saturday night. Aerial coverage brought to you by Ford Blue Cruise hands-free highway driving. 7-0 Michigan State through 1. Welcome back to the broadcast booth. And Todd, we were looking forward to seeing what we were going to see out of both quarterbacks, and both look pretty poised through.
Yeah, I think both of them look poised. Both of them look efficient. Their eyes are scanning the field. They're both making plays. You know, for BC right now, they've moved the ball. They're averaging almost 9 yards a play. Coming off of this big play, be interesting to see if they can find their way in the end zone. They were close and had the fumble, and then they had to punt their last possession.
It's been pretty balanced so far, and the expectation was maybe establishing the run a little bit more than they did in week 1. Ended up with that fumble on that first drive, but you see that maybe coming through the second quarter?
Yeah, I mean, I think they did have some spots in there where they ran the ball pretty well that I think Michigan State kind of got tougher against the run. They've got to have a balance, though. That's the key for both of these teams, is running when they want to and throwing when they want to and not when they have to.
So Boston College, you look at the yards per play through that first quarter, nearly 9 for the Eagles, and it certainly helps when you've got a 56-yard ripper from Lonergan to V.J. Wilkins, who last week had just 1 catch, and ironically that one went for 55 yards. So on the season, he's got 2 catches for 111 yards. First down line brought to you by T-Mobile. It's a 2nd down and 8 for Lonergan. Quick throw, quick catch. Lewis Bond circumvents, stays on his feet, and a nice gain up to the 11-yard line.
Well, again, this is what Dylan Lonergan shows. The ability to process at the line of scrimmage, get a pre-snap read, and then boom, ball's out of his hands, knows where he wants to go with the ball. Short throw and let your receiver get yards after the catch. And this guy does it as well as any. Lewis Bond. Very smart guy, high football intelligence, can play a lot of different spots in the offense. And Lonergan obviously has a lot of confidence in him throwing the football.
Bond, the captain, came in 63 catches away from Zay Flowers' program career record. Play clock down to 2 on a 1st down and 10 just outside of the goal-to-go territory. And Turbo Richard gets stood up at the 10. Devin Cromwell, the first one to shove him backward. And the Spartans still playing, of course, as mentioned, without Nakai Martinez, but Malik Spencer has not returned.
Yeah, and that's big. I mean, Cromwell, at least on our charts, is listed as a number 3 safety. And, you know, that's some experience and some leadership that you're lacking. One guy to keep an eye on here on this possession for BC, especially in this part of the field, is Reed Harris, number 4. He's at the top of the screen. He's a big receiver at 6'5". He hasn't had a ball thrown to him yet.
Pitch it. Bond gets to the outside and shoved out of bounds after a modest gain. Amorion Smith with another nice play in pursuit.
Yeah, a really good play by Amorion Smith, staying at home and keeping that to a very short gain. And so now 3rd down in the red zone. Again, the field shrinks. Lots of substitutions by Joe Rossi, bringing in his best pass rushers. 2 guys to keep an eye on here. Again, Reed Harris, number 4, and Jeremiah Franklin, number 17, the tight end for this BC offense.
Richard stays in. They can get the first down at the 1-yard line. See Jordan Hall demonstrative on that Michigan State defense. Quick throw. Richard walks in. Touchdown, BC. An 8-yard strike for the Eagles.
Well, this looked like some confusion by Joshua Eaton, the cornerback, number 7. Watch Eaton. He's just going to start moving in here for some reason, and this is going to be his responsibility. And he's out of position, and Lonergan recognizes it right away that the corner took himself out of space, gets the ball quickly out there to Richard, and an easy touchdown for BC.
So Richard, who fumbled after the Eagles recovered on the fumble from Amari Kelly on the first punt of the game at the 1-yard line, makes up, and now Lombardo in there to tie the game at 7. Back and forth with a couple of miscues, and Richard makes up for his early gap. The catch, the slip, and into the house. Richard ties the game up here early in the second. Back. And last night, DeWitt High defeated Mason 44-37 at home. About 4,000 fans in attendance. And check out this jump pass late in the game. A thing of beauty as DeWitt found a way late. And the home teams in our coverage this year are 1-0.
Okay.
We will be keeping track after a nice drive there from Boston College. A big exclamation in the middle of that drive on the 56-yard pass from Lonergan. And now Alante Brown is deep for Michigan State. Lombardo will send it away, and Brown is going to take it from the 3. The veteran, Brown, slips through. Brown still on his feet. Now he's down the sideline. Had to get past Lombardo as he bulldozed over him past the 40 on a nice return for this Michigan State special teamer. Well, Aiden Childs, the Michigan State Fair last week, and Childs last season, the 11 interceptions, tied for most in the Big Ten. See the first 9 games. These are powered by PFF. 8 passing touchdowns, 11 picks, 17 turnover-worthy plays, which means they should have been interceptions. But the last 4 games, including week 1, 6 touchdowns, 0 turnovers, 0 throws that should have been intercepted, according to PFF. And there's 2 things it feels like that are big changes. John Boyer, the quarterback coach, and then, as Kenny Powers would say, the fixins with this team.
Right.
Everything that they've added around them on the outside, in the backfield, and up front in the offensive line.
Yeah, he definitely has a better cast around him. We see another quarterback pull run. Good defense by BC. But I want to get back to John Boyer, who you mentioned. So he came from Oregon State. He was the tight end coach last year. Came over, and this year he is working hands-on as the quarterback coach. It's done a couple things. It's been somebody for Aiden Childs to kind of bounce things off of, talk to every day in the meeting room, on the sidelines during games. And it's also allowed offensive coordinator Brian Lindgren, for the first time in his career, to kind of back out of that room, open up his focus to the whole offense, and just make sure the whole operation is where they want it to be offensively. So it's really been a win-win for the Spartan offense.
2nd down and 7. Fake it to Frazier. A lot of time for Childs. Taking it, loading it up, down the middle. Man is there, and he just overshot Nick Marsh down the field.
Well, this was good protection. There weren't a lot of guys out in the route. A lot of times when you run this kind of route, it's play action pass and it's maximum protection. So there's only 2 guys out in the route. 3 guys, and pretty well covered by BC. He tried to take a shot at it and just overthrew.
Well, Jonathan Smith was clear. They're going to try to get the ball to Nick Marsh a lot more this week. Already 4 targets. And that first catch was the impressive touchdown in the first quarter. Now it's 3rd and 7. Marsh went to the side. And Michigan State didn't love what they saw. We'll call their first time out.
Timeout called, Michigan State. Their first time out of the half.
So for Aiden Childs, you talk to Boston College and say, okay, how do you try to defend this guy? And they said, keep him in the pocket.
Yeah.
We don't want him running out, making things off schedule. That's where he hurt him last year.
Yeah, well, he hurts him by his decision to go ahead and run, or just extending plays and making plays on the, throwing the ball on the move. And they said, look, we want to keep him in the pocket and make him play quarterback. If they beat us, make him beat us by being a quarterback. And right now, you know, he hasn't been able to make the throws that have counted in critical situations yet from the pocket. Have another opportunity right here on third down. One of the things I think they might not have liked and called the timeout, BC's best rusher, their edge guy, Quintavious Hutchins, number 15, he was kind of moving around the middle of the formation, almost like a middle linebacker in a different spot. Now he's in a normal spot, lined up on the end of the line, but they want to account for him as a rusher.
Will they target Marsh again here? They put him in motion on third down and 7. Childs, step up, dump it down. Tullis is not going to get there. Will be about 1.5 yards short of the first down. Group effort from the Eagles side with Cameron Martinez leading the charge. And so now 4th and 1 near midfield. And we'll see how aggressive Jonathan Smith remains.
Well, he may just want to see if they can go a hard count and draw him off sides. The last time they went for it on 4th down, it was a quarterback sneak, and they easily got it. This is a little longer than that situation was. But again, good tackling by the BC defense. That was good offense by Childs, taking the dump down and not forcing a throw, but even better defense on the tackling short of the first down.
That was what Childs didn't do last year. It was a generous spot for Michigan State.
Correct.
And now on the Wildcat, Tullis gets denied in the backfield, swallowed up, never had a chance, and Boston College turns him over on downs.
Great play in there by Cedarius McConnell. Watch number 88, Cedarius McConnell, get in the backfield and make the tackle. And Boston College wins on 4th down.
Big Ten Saturday Night is brought to you by Genesis Motor America. Learn more at genesis.com. And by Xfinity. Be the best at watching sports. Stream smarter with Xfinity. December 2007, number 14, Boston College and Michigan State. Matt Ryan, 249 yards, 3 touchdowns. Player of the game, Brian Hoyer, 4 picks. And the Eagles come away with a win.
You know, good opportunity right here to maybe take a shot. Your defense gets to stop on 4th and 1. You're at midfield. You're coming out of a timeout where you've had a chance to really talk to your offense. Your quarterback is hot. He's seeing things well.
Lonergan to the sideline. Open. Dropped by Franklin. He put it in the right spot, and that ends 8 straight completions for the quarterback, Lonergan.
Well, he's working man-to-man on Moa, the linebacker, or actually it's Jordan Hall, and he beats him badly. A perfect throw. And normally reliable Jeremiah Franklin unable to come down with the football. But I tell you what, Dylan Lonergan, his vision is great. He is seeing the field. He's making checks at the line of scrimmage. He's changing protections. He was poised last week, and he's poised again this week.
Let's not forget his first road start of his college career, coming over from Alabama. Motion out McDonald, and now a flag. It's been fairly clean so far. Only 1 total penalty to this point.
Full start. Offense, number 53. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
That's the center, Dwayne Alec.
Take a look at Alec right in the middle. He's got his right hand on the ball. He's the first guy. Kind of moving the football there. He kind of sat back in his stance after the motion. You got motion there. The guys have got to hold their water a long time. 5-yard penalty against BC.
Pretty disciplined team. Michigan State brings 3. Lonergan's going to tuck it, and he's not going to go very far. Jordan Hall had his eyes on him the entire way.
Good coverage. Man coverage downfield by Michigan State. Nowhere to go with the football. Lonergan is not going to be the kind of threat that Aiden Childs is, but he gets a few positive yards. Jordan Hall, the leader of this defense. showing pressure, then backs out, then eyeballs on the quarterback. And as soon as he sees Lonergan leave the pocket, he is there to swallow him up.
Brings up third down. And 13. BC 1 for 3 on third down so far, with the play clock already down to 4. And they get it off. Rusher comes. Lonergan hit. Lets it fly. It's dropped with a couple of flags down. Reed Harris, the intended target. And now we wait. It was Joshua Eaton back in coverage with Harris. And the transfer from Texas State.
Defense, number 7. 10-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Gets called for the hold.
Well, the thing about Reed Harris is he's 6'5", 217 pounds, but he's really fast. And you can see the hold clearly right there by Eaton. And that ball was thrown in the right spot also. Over the outside shoulder. Could have been a completion. They got the penalty anyway. Lonergan hanging in there, took a shot at the end of the play by Wayne Matthews, the linebacker, but a good throw under pressure.
So keeps the drive alive for Lonergan in this BC offense. Play action. A lot of time, perfectly delivered. Ty Lockwood, his fellow Alabama transfer, with a nice catch and run to move the sticks 14 yards.
Little tricky play. Here's Lockwood. Watch, he's going to pause, and then just kind of slip out right here. Play action, quarterback's going to go away, and then they just slip the tight end out the backside and get him the football.
You ask anybody about Dylan Lonergan, they said the thing that stands out about him is his calm demeanor.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we're seeing in his first raucous environment. Michigan State nearly had too many on the field, get off in time with just under 10 on the play clock. Lonergan going back to the air. Swing it to the outside, wide open. Lewis Bond gets dragged backward, but his third catch of the day gets close. Make it actually 4 now for Bond, who had 11 catches last week. Again, is closer and closer with each week, getting towards that Zay Flowers career BC record. And just talk about what he's meant to this program as a captain on the outside, deciding to stay through his 5-year career now in Chestnut Hill. As they swing it out, McDonald trying to make something happen, and does with a first down catch and run. But Bond has just meant so much, and obviously you talk about the incredible catch at the end of the fourth quarter of the last meeting with these two last year.
Yeah, I mean, he's a very versatile guy. And when I talked to Will Lawing, the offensive coordinator, he said he has a high football intelligence, as high as anybody I've ever been around, ever coached. Quarterbacks, doesn't matter what position. There's Will Lawing, guy who's kind of been attached to the hip of Bill O'Brien ever since he was a GA for him at Penn State back in the 2012-2013. And
first down, Lonergan, McDonald up the sideline.
See, the problem for Michigan State right now is they can't get any pressure on Dylan Lonergan. Part of that is because the ball is coming out so quick. He is not holding the football very long at all. And it's a really good mix right now of the quick passing horizontally.
So already down to Kai Martinez and Malik Spencer. Wayne Matthews, the third now on a knee for this Michigan State defense. Dylan Lonergan, what a path it's been so far. From Snellville, Georgia, played football and baseball at Brookwood High School. 4-star prospect on the football field. His dad, Dan, quarterback on the 82 Penn State National Championship team. He was a backup for some guy named Todd Blackledge. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He was recruited, Dylan was, by Bill O'Brien at Alabama when he was the OC. 3 games over 2 seasons. And he did say it was a difficult decision to come to Boston College. He felt he was going to be at Alabama his whole career.
Yeah, and he was, doing a good job there. It was interesting. We talked to Jonathan Smith, the Michigan State coach, and he wanted to get more info on the quarterback he was facing. He called Kalen DeBoer and talked to him about it. Kalen DeBoer spoke very highly of him, said he would have probably been his number 2 quarterback. So they didn't want to lose him. He had doubts about leaving, but what a great fit for him here with Bill O'Brien in this offense. And BC also a great academic school as well.
2nd and 5, back to his running back, but McDonald couldn't track it this time. Brady Pretzlaff had a beat on the running back, and it's 3rd and 5.
Maybe the worst throw he's had. Now, he bobbled the snap a little bit, and that's why he was kind of late getting the throw. Watch, he's going to bobble the snap, and he kind of rushes the throw, and it's his first throw that was not on the money accurate. in the ball game. Third down, critical third down right here. Let's see if Michigan State can create some pressure on the quarterback.
Turbo Richard caught the touchdown on the last drive. He's in there on 3rd and 5. Lonergan looking his way. Now back towards the middle, wide open. Touchdown. Jaden Skeet behind the defense. And BC takes the lead.
Well, this is a bust by the Michigan State defense somehow. They get pressure. They hit Lonergan as he throws, but this is a bust in the back end of the defense. Here's Skeet right here. He's just going to run to the back, and nobody's going to carry him to the back of the end zone. Last week, Skeet had 2 catches, and both were touchdowns. Here's a touchdown tonight, and that was too easy. They get pressure, but nobody with the intended receiver, Skeet, in the back of the end zone.
Extra point. Lombardo makes it 14-7. 8 plays, 49 yards down the field after the 4th down stop in just over 3 minutes. Lonergan continues to deal in his first road start of his career. Despite the hit, finds the open man, and the Eagles lead.
Back at Michigan State, Dylan Lonergan with his 2nd touchdown pass. Good read, but he was helped out. Now this is man coverage. Man coverage. Man coverage as the back goes out. This safety, man coverage. But nobody picks up the 3rd receiver on the inside in man coverage. They let him run free. And it's an easy read for Dylan Lonergan. It was man everywhere except on that receiver. And you can see the frustration in Jordan Hall. Somewhere along the line, somebody didn't get the memo to play man-to-man.
Lombardo sends it away. Alante Brown this time will take it from the 4. He bobbled it, scoops it up, and spins away, stays on his feet. Now Brown to the outside. Got a blocker in front. Brown, the veteran, across midfield. Still going across the 35. What can Brown do for you?
That's 2 returns in a row where BC has not been able to get him on the ground. He bobbles the catch, picks it up off the ground, and watch him just bounce off of tacklers. I mean, he shows some contact balance as a returner. And Michigan State in outstanding field position. Watch this. Good hit. Doesn't bring him down. No wrap up. And Alante Brown with his 2nd impressive kickoff return of the ball game.
This one goes for 63 yards and immediately sets up this Michigan State offense in excellent territory. Kelly, the motion man, fake it to him. Frazier, stutter step, and he gets gobbled up at the line of scrimmage. Chris Maribel Jr. with a bear hug. Now we'll see what Aiden Childs has after his counterpart on the other side. Dylan Lonergan has just been excellent in this first half. 13 of 16, 170 yards, 2 scores. Childs just 4 for 7, 39 yards, and the touchdown to Marsh. 2nd and 10. Frazier. Someone lost his helmet. Frazier up the middle. The burst of speed has Michigan State in the red zone with a flag down.
Big time run by Frazier. Good vision and making that cut coming up through the middle once he saw a crease.
Foul. Defense number 97 participated in play without his helmet. Half the distance to the goal added to the end of the play. First down.
That's rough. You lose your helmet and you get called for a personal foul by trying to participate in the play. Chuck Nato, the transfer from Elon. Helmet's going to come off. No hands to the face on that particular play.
Yeah, Gavin Broche just got away with one.
But a good run nonetheless by Mekhi Frazier.
So it's 1st and goal after the penalty at the 9 as Nato's going to have to go to the bench. Tullis in the game, the physical back, all set up by the 63-yard return by Alante Brown.
It's part of the field where Childs becomes dangerous as a designed runner as well. Get an extra blocker when he becomes the runner.
It's Tullis inside the 5.
A nice run to the left by Frazier. Now a good run on the stretch play to the right. Nice job by Luka Vincic, the right guard, number 70. He did not play last week. They had 7 offensive linemen that played 40 snaps or more last week. And this week they plan to play 8 because they didn't have Luka last week. Part of that is trying to build depth. Part of it is trying to figure out who your best 5 are as this season moves along.
Second and goal. Childs, end zone, open, touchdown. Michael Masunis brings it in, and Michigan State an extra point away from the tie.
A really nice job. Watch Masunis sell this. All right, it's a long fake. They're fake and reverse. He's going to block, then release. And the defensive end responsible for him, Wosisi, is totally fooled on the play. He thinks it's run all the way. It's a long developing play, and it was sold beautifully by the tight end, Masunis.
Cicelo, extra point, 14 up with under 6 to play in this first half. We've got a ball game from Spartan Stadium, and we've also got a Modelo game break. Here's John Fanta.
Well, guys, Kenny Dillingham talked about Starkville being a small town this past week. The response has featured a lot of cowbells and a lot of Mississippi State points. Blake Shapen and Brennan Thompson. Bulldogs already up 17-0 and just got a pick.
They got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell. Right now, Michigan State will take whatever else they can get from Alante Brown, Aiden Childs, and his quarterback coach, John Boyer, right there going through the tape on that last drive. Short field, they take advantage.
Absolutely, and I like what Aiden told us. He said when he comes off the field, the first thing John Boyer says, okay, what did you see? Talk to me about what you saw on that possession. And then he gives him an answer. He says, okay, let's go look at it. And then that's one of the great things now with the rule where you can get the iPad, you can go back and watch all those plays, and then you talk it through and confirm if that is what you saw or not, and make your adjustments accordingly.
Childs said that he just sees the game so well, answers the questions as to why they're doing the things that they're doing. He knows the what, he knows the how, but it's the why. As McCormick is going to take this one out just inside the end zone. He gets popped at the 20. 5.5 to play in this first half. Let's check in with KT.
Hey guys, well, Super Bowl champ Rodney Harrison coached Lonergan in youth football from ages 6 to 11, and he told me, I've never seen a kid at that age with an arm like that. He was throwing the ball almost 50 yards as a 6-year-old, and it was a perfect spiral. The two speak on a regular basis. Rodney told him after last week's win over Fordham, don't get too comfortable. There's a lot of work to be done. Just continue to work on your craft.
Really cool going back, and of course, Dylan told us that his dad, Dan, was his first coach, his mom, Jean, in attendance as well, and taught him how to throw a football first and foremost. I said, what would you learn for your day? He goes, well, how to throw a football.
Well, he could sling it himself. I got a chance to see him before the game. It was great to see Dan, and he is just living the dream right now watching his son.
Turbo Richard around the edge, gains 9.
Good news for Michigan State. Malik Spencer back in the football game. They missed his leadership, in the back end of that defense. As you mentioned, they're playing without Mekhi Martinez, who they think may be their best defensive player. They're hoping to get him back by the USC game. There's Martinez right there, and Joe Rossi happy to have his leader, Malik Spencer, back in the ball game right now.
Both of these coaching staffs feel like year 2, they've just got a much better feel for what their guys are capable of. Richard, big hole around that end once again. Matthews, who went off the field on the previous drive, back out there, helps wrap them up. But a first down carry of 9 yards.
Well, BC now 42 yards rushing in the ball game. It's not a lot, but it looks better than it looked a week ago. The offensive line kind of took it on the chin a week ago. Had a chip on their shoulder coming into this one. They've done a good job of protecting their quarterback, Dylan Lonergan. And they've run the ball better than they did a week ago against a much better defensive front.
First down, another carry. This time going nowhere. Loses 2 yards due to David Santiago.
David Santiago played at Air Force last year. He was one of the transfers. They brought in 4 transfers as edge rushers, and they all play in different situations, different packages. This time, great track to the football. Did not lose ground. Perfect course to the ball and chases the play down from the backside.
This is a Boston College offensive line that did lose a couple of players to the NFL. Ozzie Trapillo, second-round pick to Chicago, and Drew Kendall, the center, fifth-round pick to Philadelphia. Lonergan, just a miscommunication with Skeet on the outside.
Yeah, I mean, that's a play on third and that long. You're just trying to get some of the yardage back. Give yourself a chance on third down. Miscommunication between quarterback and receiver. Now you got a really tough situation at 3rd and 12 on the road.
Michigan State has stuck to the plan of rotating a ton of bodies in, and right now this defense looks fresh. 3rd and 12. Remember, Michigan State won the toss, elected to defer to the second half. This could be a big stop and a chance to double dip. Lonergan, good time, evades, directs. Lonergan, incomplete, tight coverage on the outside. Skeet was the intended target, and you're all over it. The flag comes in.
It just didn't have to happen. I mean, he's tracking down the quarterback, and he hits him well after the ball is thrown.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense, number 5. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Just a really unfortunate penalty. You've got him 3rd down and 12. You've got everybody covered. You flush the quarterback, and then you give him a free break. There just wasn't the need to make this hit. It's not targeting, it's roughing the passer. Terry, I guess they could have looked at that as forcible contact to the head and neck area, but it definitely was roughing the passer.
Absolutely. It looks like the force is just below the head and neck area with the forearm, and then the forearm kind of follows through. So the primary force was below the head and neck, so not targeting.
But the bigger deal right now is BC's drive remains alive. And Lonergan over the middle, another catch for Bond, gets spun down immediately by Jordan Hall.
It makes up for it with a heck of a play right there. Again, both teams tackling well in open spaces. Jordan Hall said one of the areas he wanted to improve this year was his pass coverage, his pass drops. Talked to his coach, Joe Rossi, where can I get better? And then he went about it every day. But this is a guy who takes a lot of pride in his job. He didn't start last year, but he played a lot. And he has had an outstanding camp and early season so far.
Jordan Turner came in as a transfer, took that starting spot, and Hall worked tirelessly to get it back this season. Nice catch this time by Franklin, who had the drop earlier, but it's short of the first down. Will bring up 3rd and 1. Wayne Matthews stayed in front, and so we'll see if this Michigan State defensive unit can get off the field this time.
You got to believe this is 2-down territory for Bill O'Brien right here. Well out of field goal range. You've got momentum, moving the football. You trust your quarterback. I think you're thinking 2 plays here to pick up 1 yard.
BC all 3 timeouts and the 2-minute timeout. Michigan State had to burn 1 of theirs in this first half. 3rd and 1. Handoff. Richard keeps the legs churning, and he's got it.
Yeah, second effort. He didn't have it initially, but he never stopped moving his legs, and he got it by second effort.
That'll bring us to the 2-minute timeout here in East Lansing. All even at 14. Both quarterbacks settling in. Both defenses have been stout. We've got a good ball game near the end of this first half. All right, guys, looking forward to halftime. We're also looking forward to the finish of this first half and eventually this game. It was a really interesting game last year at Chestnut Hill. Heavy rain. This has been a little clearer, a bit nippy outside for early September. But Dylan Lonergan dealing in his first road start with 179 yards in this first half and 2 scores. First down. Fake it to Richard. Lonergan thought about taking a shot. Now he's got some room to run if he wants it. Shovel pass goes, and Franklin takes it across to the 20.
Well, what a great play by Lonergan. They were trying to go deep. I mean, he's looking right here for this deep crossing route, but the backside corner, number 14, is going to do a job. Malcolm Bell's going to run underneath it. So that's not there. He improvises, and he turns it into a positive game. Doesn't lose his poise, keeps his eyes downfield, and turns it into a big-time play.
How many times this week did Bill O'Brien say, man, I wish we had Jeremiah Franklin longer than we did? Just such a weapon for them in the passing game already with 4 catches and 40 yards. Now they're going to go to the Bond for his 6th catch of the evening. Gets it inside of the 15 before he runs into Spencer.
Now that's an RPO. We haven't seen many of those so far tonight, but that's a play where the line is actually blocking a running play to the left, and the numbers told Dylan Lonergan to throw the ball. All right, so the line is blocking this way. The back's going this way. It could have been a run to the left. Quarterback sees good numbers out there. He's got a blocker in front of Bond, so they throw the football. That's all about mathematics and what you run on that particular play.
They are taking their time here. 10th play of the drive, over 5 minutes off the clock. Now under 40 to play in this first half. Fake it to Bond. Lonergan looking, end zone, touchdown! Reed Harris, the big-bodied receiver, gets the lead back for the Eagles. Third touchdown pass of the first half for Dylan Lonergan.
Wow, what a half. What a beautiful concept on that touchdown play also.
Stunned silence at Spartan Stadium as Lombardo comes on for the extra point. It's 21-14. .31 seconds remaining in this second quarter, and you mentioned it, a thing of beauty.
Yeah, well, they fake the wide receiver screen. Then they have 2 options. It could have been the tight end, Jeremiah Franklin, on the wheel route, or you've got your big wide receiver running to the back of the end zone. Lonergan makes a perfect throw high into the back of the end zone where either your guy's going to get it, your 6'5" receiver, or it's going to be incomplete. He beats Malik Spencer to the spot, and a perfectly thrown ball by Dylan Lonergan.
State is now number 83.
So you've got 31 seconds here. Michigan State does have 2 timeouts. You just wonder how aggressive you're going to get knowing you're going to have the football to start the second half.
No, you can't get too aggressive here. You got to go into the locker room, and first of all, you got to figure out defensively, how can we slow down or disrupt Dylan Lonergan? Even if you don't sack him, you've got to affect the quarterback, and they're not affecting him in a negative way right now at all.
Fair catch called for and made by Tao Tolliver. So 31 seconds on the clock. Let's see what they do with Aiden Childs. It is worth mentioning, under Jonathan Smith, and this was first brought to our attention by Locked On Spartans, under Jonathan Smith so far into year 2, the Spartans have not outscored an FBS opponent in the second half of games. And this could be, if you're aggressive, something that you hope to build momentum into a second half, but man, that's got to change so far here tonight.
Yeah, it really does. But I mean, 31 seconds. I mean, you can see if you can get a first down. You've got 2 timeouts. But you certainly don't want something bad to happen right here at the end of the half either. Maybe a screen. See if you can pop that.
Giles, Marsh outside, gain 6 on first down. He stops the clock with 27.
Typically, if you can get a first down relatively quickly, then you can maybe have a little bit more of an aggressive mindset. But the problems right now for Jonathan Smith and the Spartans are not offense, it's defense and finding a way to slow down Dylan Lonergan.
Lonergan 18 of 22, 217, 3 scores. They're going to run it conservatively with Frazier. He'll get spun down after a yard and a half by Q Hutchins. And this clock will tick all the way down. Michigan State content to go into the half, knowing they'll get the football down by 7.
Jonathan Smith told us, our guys, we have to learn how to finish. We've got to learn how to finish practices. We got to learn how to finish drives, and we got to learn how to finish games. And they didn't do that last week. Even though they won, they did not play as well in the second half as they did in the first half. And so now we'll see if they have been able to make any adjustments to that in this ball game.
Bill O'Brien was excited to see what his quarterback would look like in a hostile environment. Let's hear it. He's with KT.
Coach Dylan Lonergan with the first road start of his career. What stands out to you most about his first half performance?
He's just a very calm guy. You know, he's a consistent guy. He's seen it pretty well, but it's only one half. It's a really good team we're playing in their stadium. They got a great crowd. It's a great atmosphere. We got to really play well in the second half.
Yeah, a wild first half indeed, but you guys were able to take control here at the end. How do you carry that momentum, and what do you tell your team at the half?
It was a good way to end the half right there. We've got to do a better job, obviously, with our kickoff coverage, stopping the run on defense. We got to be able to run the ball a little bit better on offense. So we got a lot to work on here at halftime.
Coach, thank you very much.
Thanks, Captain.
Dylan Lonergan with 9 passes of 10 yards or more. He's hit 8 different receivers in the first half, and BC holds a 7-point lead as we go to the break on Big Ten Saturday night. Get more with Geico. Time now for the Big Bulletin, brought to you by Genesis Motor America. One-score game after 2 from Spartan Stadium here in East Lansing. And you look at the stats, and it is heavily in favor, at least offensively, on the BC side. 259 total yards, more than double the first downs. They dominate the time of possession as well. And the QB comparison really does help to tell that story. Dylan Lonergan, just sensational. 18 of 22, 217 to 3 scores. Childs has been unblemished in terms of mistakes, but only the 2 scores and limited yards. And this is the real downer if you're a Michigan State fan. A minus 89-point differential in the last 2 years, or year plus, if you will, under Jonathan Smith. Yeah. Only 6.5 points per second half.
Yeah, I mean, those are ugly numbers that have to change because they're going to have to score more in this game to be in it.
You talked about playing a full 4 quarters. We got a whistle after this kickoff.
We will re-kick if we were not set on the field.
Well, we appreciate getting reset.
And BC kind of showed their hand right there with the kind of short pooch kickoff. Wonder if they'll just kick it deep this time. Of course, they may want to just be trying to keep it away from Alante Brown because they've had a hard time tackling him when he's got his hands on the football.
They went 63 yards on the last kick return. And now Brown has adjusted. He's going to stand around the 15-yard line and hope to give Aiden Childs better field position.
Well, they were pooching it to the opposite side away from Alante Brown before that whistle stopped the play. Let's see if they go there again.
And this time more of a traditional feel away from Brown. Fair catch called for and made by Tao Tolliver as we go down to KT.
Well, Noah, you were just talking about these second half issues for Michigan State under Jonathan Smith. I just asked the head coach about that and how he was going to plan to get his team involved. He said, we have to try to lock in. We need more offensive plays. The Spartans only had 57 total yards of offense after that opening touchdown. He said defensively, we're having some communication issues. We have to get off the field and don't help them out with the penalties like we did. One thing he was happy about, he told us yesterday, there will be a special teams play that mattered. He loved the 63-yard punt return from Alante Brown and wants to see more of that kind of momentum here in the second half, guys.
That certainly helps their cause, and he did talk to us. They don't want it to be 8, 10, 12 play drives every time, and Todd, you mentioned it a couple times. They're looking for explosives. Would certainly help to find one early here. This drive will start from the 25, just get it off in time, and Frazier, looking for some space, will pick up 2.5, maybe 3 yards on the ground.
I mean, they ran the ball fairly effectively in the first half, averaged over 4 yards a carry. That's better than they did last season. And running the football sets up those potential chunk plays off of play action. They just haven't hit one yet.
They have force-fed Marsh, as expected. 3 catches for 22 yards so far. Nobody else with more than 1 catch on the 6 Childs completions. Second down and 7. Childs, swing it. Frazier going to have to get special. And he runs over his own man, Velling. McGowan was there, and Kalenge was there for a minimal gain.
Yeah, McGowan made a really nice play there. Just kind of held his ground. He was getting blocked, was still able to be a part of the tackle. Again, he's looking downfield first. He's going to dump it off to Frazier as an outlet. He's reading left. It's not there. It's a dump off. And McGowan does a nice job of closing from inside out to make the play.
Bill O'Brien wanted his team to handle the noise, handle the crowd. Well, they've taken them out of this game so far, just over a minute into the second half.
Pressure.
3rd down and 6. Childs feels it, lets it rip. Sideline, open, caught. Amari Kelly makes the adjustment and moves the sticks.
Good job by Michigan State picking up the pressure, and then watch Amari Kelly adjust to the underthrown ball. Corner has no chance when the ball's underthrown like that. Torrance is actually in great position, but when the ball is underthrown, receiver finds it and adjusts to the football. But this is pressure, both inside backers coming. Really nice job picking it up by Mekhi Frazier. And the first big chunk pass play for Michigan State in the ballgame.
Of the season. That's their longest play of the season so far. 30 yards to set up 1st down at the 41. Play action. Childs looking, taking the shot towards the end zone. Marsh is there, and he's got him! Turn him up, Nick! Touchdown Spartans, 41 yards.
Well, again, fantastic pass protection. They go play action. 2 deep balls in a row. Watch again, the tailback stay in after the fake. Help both tight ends stay in. It's max protection. 2 guys on the deep route, and he just allows Marsh to create some separation and a perfect throw to the back of the end zone. Watch him get separation, and then the ball takes him away from the defender even more. Perfect throw. Back-to-back plays by Aidan Childs.
Extra point is good. All even at 21. Nick Marsh didn't play in last year's matchup with BC. A 23-19 win for the Eagles. And now, this year against the Eagles, he's got his first multi-touchdown game of his young career to tie it up. Out of Cam, the legend Tom Izzo has welcomed back a number of his former players, including Draymond Green. It's Grit Week, the alumni comeback, Jaren Jackson Jr. on campus, and of course, talk about legends at Michigan State. Mateen Cleaves leading them to their only national championship about a quarter century ago, which is hard to believe. Always great to see those guys back on campus.
Just love Izzo, and they all love Izzo.
Yes.
There's no better person in the coaching profession in any sport than that guy right there.
He is truly one of one. They do not make him like Tom very often. Nice little pooch kick on the other side for Michigan State this time, and the freshman McCormick gets banged out of bounds across the 20.
Well, Dylan Lonergan in that first half was masterful, and it starts at the line of scrimmage with recognition. That allows him to read and get the ball out of his hands so quickly. He processes quickly before the ball snaps, and then you can't get pressure. It's frustrating because he does not hold the ball long, and if you make a mistake in your coverage, he's going to find it. And that first half, I mean, he was outstanding. He hit 7 different receivers. He threw 3 touchdowns, 18 to 22 for 217. What can Michigan State do in this second half to make him uncomfortable?
He's got almost 450 yards and 6 touchdowns through the first half of the first 2 games. And he's complete. Again, it's Bond adding another catch, his 7th catch of the night. Just a go-to guy already for Lonergan.
Well, he's so dependable and so smart, and Lonergan knows, even though he hasn't been there a long time, he knows he can count on that guy. But again, he has spread the ball around. I mean, he's hit tight ends, he's hit wide receivers, he's hit backs.
Bond goes to the sideline. You asked Bill O'Brien about him. He said he really reminds him of John Mechie when they had him at Alabama. The way that he moves athletically, build is similar. Mechie now with the Philadelphia Eagles. 2nd down and 4. Fake it to Richard. Lonergan steps back in the pocket. Another perfect delivery. This time to Skeet. Gets spun down just shy of midfield.
Well, this starts with protection, and then watch Dylan Lonergan as he goes back. Watch him climb up in the pocket and let the rush go outside of him. Does a nice job of climbing up in the pocket, buying a few extra seconds, and then delivering the strike.
Richard on the cut, gets across midfield into Spartan territory.
I really can't get over how well the kid is playing, how much poise he has, how quickly he's seeing things, and recognizing what Michigan State is trying to do coverage-wise. And for Joe Rossi and his defensive staff, this has to be incredibly frustrating because they have not been able to get any pressure or affect him negatively in any way.
I think he looks frustrated.
Yeah, it looked migraine-ish, didn't it?
It sure did. So 2nd down and 6. The Michigan State offense has done their part with 3 touchdowns from Childs. Lonergan 241 and 3 scores himself in his first road start. Delayed handoff, and McDonald up the middle is going to have enough for the first down. 9 more yards on the ground for Boston College, who has run it a lot more effectively this week.
Well, watch, there's going to be a safety blitz. It's going to come right in here, and they're going to run right by it. He's going to get caught in the blocking scheme as they pull the backside guard and the fullback. And then there's nobody at that second level of the defense because of the blitz. Power football. They had 2 tight ends in. They were both pulling on that play along with the guard. Nice run for a first down.
Another handoff. This time Michigan State is there. Quick beat by Kelly to get to him.
This is really good job by the edge rusher or the edge defender, setting the edge and not letting this ball get outside of him and forcing it back inside. Brady Kelly, one of those transfers that came over. He's played at a couple big schools. Both Colorado State and Florida State, has a lot of snaps at the Division I level, and they were super happy to get him out of the portal and add depth to that defensive front.
Also just shows the discrepancy of the current age of college football. He's married with a kid on the way. Aiden Childs, his quarterback, is 19. Lonergan set up the screen. It's Turbo Richard trying to live up to his name down the sideline inside the red zone.
Now, first screen that we've seen. Perfect time to call this by Will Lawing. And watch Richard just set up the block by his left tackle. He's going to allow the tackle to get out in front. First screen that we've seen. They roll the quarterback away. Watch Richard just set this block up and then allow him to get in position and then get to the sideline for a big yardage gain. Good timing on the screen. Perfect time to call it by the BC offensive staff.
9 minutes to play in this third, and the Boston College offense showing no signs of slowing down.
3 tight ends in for BC.
Fake it around. Reed Harris not going anywhere, caught up in the backfield.
Really well defended by Michigan State. Darius Snow, one of the outside linebackers, kind of a legacy player here at Michigan State. And watch this now. They've got the 3 tight ends. They all kind of get their blocks, but Darius Snow fights outside, fights off the block of Jeremiah Franklin, and makes the play for a loss of yardage. And Michigan State needed that. They had to try to put Boston College behind the chains. They were able to do that on the first down play.
Spartans ecstatic to have Snow back on the field after a number of injuries. Lonergan sidearm to the outside. Richard can't get away. Spun down by Jordan Hall.
Another open field tackle and a 3rd and long coming up. Here's Jordan Hall now, right here in the middle. Eyes on the quarterback, eyes on the back. Man coverage on the back, so he's in perfect position and doesn't let him go. He gets out there and looked like the tackle might get broken, but a good strong tackle by Jordan Hall. 3rd and long. Big play in the ball game right here for the Spartan defense.
Quick throw, Bond. The 10th straight completion is going to be short of a first down, but might have been enough to convince Bill O'Brien to go for it. It would be about a chip shot field goal, but they only kicked 5 attempts last year.
I don't see any kicker running off the sideline. This looks like Bill O'Brien, although there's a defensive player down. We'll give him some time to think about it.
With defensive player injury.
And that is Alenu Lafele, who is down, the pass rush specialist. And the redshirt freshman looks like he's trying to stretch it out on Big Ten Saturday night. Well, last year, the fewest field goals made and attempted in the country came from Boston College. Luca Lombardo actually got hurt in the game against Michigan State. He made his lone field goal of the season against the Spartans. It was an undisclosed injury. They didn't trust Liam Connor enough, so they ended up going for it a ton on 4th down and had a decent amount of success. They're going to decide to leave the offense out here.
Well, two things to pay attention to here. Number one, Bill O'Brien's got great faith in his quarterback right now, who's seeing it, feeling it, and delivering the football to the right spot. Number two, it's 4th and 4. So a hard count, if you could draw them off sides, could get you a free first down if you utilize your snap count.
BC 1 for 1 on 4th down last week in their dominant effort over Fordham.
That shows zone coverage. When they put that back out there, and here's a penalty right now, and this may change the whole picture.
Full start, offense, number 56. 5-yard penalty, remain 4th down.
That's the left guard, Eric Doherty.
So Bill O'Brien likes to do this, and particularly in past situations. They're going to take this back, and when they move him out in motion, that's to see what the coverage is. If it's a corner who stays out wide, then that's saying zone. If it's a linebacker that goes out with him, then that would say man. And that time they just took too much time at the line of scrimmage and have to settle for the field goal.
It's a 37-yarder for Lombardo, and he drills it. So BC marches down the field, takes a 3-point lead with 7 minutes to play in the third. It's time now for a Modelo game break. Here's John Fanta. Jayshon Barham's back out there defensively in this second half. That is a completely new ball game.
And really, Michigan's run game last week was not much other than the long runs by Justice Haynes. I mean, he made the difference for them. Career highs last week at home against New Mexico, and gets him right back in the ball game tonight in Norman.
So Dylan Lonergan already with a career-high 272 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. Couldn't get it into the end zone on that last drive after the penalty forced the eventual field goal that Lombardo made from 37. So now Michigan State, and Jonathan Smith talked about this yesterday when we were sitting down with him. Yeah. Look at last year's matchup with these two teams. Michigan State led going into the half. How quickly things changed early in that third quarter with Boston College coming up, as Tal Tolliver is going to try to make something happen and can't. Spun down at the 27-yard line. Well, Sunday night, two playmakers at the top of their games collide. Reigning MVP Josh Allen and the Bills host two-time MVP Lamar Jackson and the Ravens Sunday, 7 Eastern on NBC and Peacock. SNF is back. Matt Milano, a Boston College legend, of course, a legend in Buffalo as well. And Zay Flowers, Boston College record holder across several receiving categories. A dominant second season last year with 1,000 yards for the Ravens.
I'll tell you what, Jonathan Smith, I mean, even though you just talked about the numbers of Dylan Lonergan and a career high, he's got to be thrilled that they got somewhat of a stop on that defensive possession and forcing the field goal. A couple negative yardage plays, forced long yardage on 3rd down, and that was the difference.
Two explosives got him in the end zone on the last drive. Now it is Childs looking to take another shot down the middle.
That's a penalty, yep.
And there it is. He was looking for Marsh, and Torrance once again tightened coverage. Looks like he got a little overzealous.
Now this is a hard throw because Aiden Childs is rolling to his right. There's some pressure, and he's going to throw it all the way back to the left. And because the ball was underthrown,
pass interference,
that drew the penalty.
Defense number 10, 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
And by the way, Todd, they have targeted Torrance the last 3 plays going back to the last drive.
Yeah, you can see the grab right there, and then when the ball was underthrown, he got right into the body, and that was an easy call for the official out there.
So it went for 30 yards to Kelly, 41 yards on the touchdown to Marsh, and now a 15-yard penalty, all going against Torrance. First down from the 42. They've got Coyne in there as the fullback, Frazier as the halfback. Handoff, Frazier. Not much running room and stumbles forward for about 3 yards.
You know, everybody talks about it. Really, last year, Nick Marsh had a great freshman year. There was just a freshman in Columbus that was a little bit better. But the thing that makes Jeremiah Smith so difficult to deal with is his size and strength. You could say the same thing about Nick Marsh. He's a big physical boundary-type receiver who is a whole lot of a handful for a cornerback to deal with in man coverage.
I mean, you don't get the nickname Baby Megatron by accident. He said that there was another guy growing up as another handoff goes to Frazier, and he can't spin away. McGowan comes in, and the captain makes the stop in the backfield for a loss of 1. And the transfer wide receivers for Michigan State, more than anything, it actually opens up more for Baby Megatron. Marsh has more to work with because Amari Kelly and Krishan McCray and Evan Boyd and Rodney Bullard are all factors. And now Aiden Childs, Jonathan Smith, they feel like they've got 6 available options on the outside and 3 at tight end.
Well, and they haven't looked to the slot receiver, the kid who transferred from Kent State, McCray, and he's got quickness and big playability, but they haven't even looked his way at all. Big third down play here for Childs.
Belling is in there. McCray is the motion man. Childs, free rusher, gets away. Can Childs make some magic on his feet? Childs has the first down and more. Still going. Childs, ridiculous. Inside the 40.
Well, this is what they didn't want to happen. Tim Lewis said, we don't want him to get outside the pocket. They're going to bring pressure and get a free rusher, free shot. Can't get him on the ground. And once he breaks contain, he becomes so elusive and dangerous. He's a big body who's not afraid to run. He eludes the free rusher and turns it into a big play. He did it a few times last year in Boston, the same thing. That's why Tim Lewis said we want him to beat us being a quarterback, not a playmaker. That time he beat him on third down as a playmaker.
KP Price thought he had a sure sack. Instead, this drive continues with Frazier for a yard. Q Hutchins right there to greet him. So Aiden Childs feels like he's getting more comfortable. There's a look at Tim Lewis in his second season as the defensive coordinator. Standout cornerback at Pitt, drafted in the first round by the Packers, and a neck injury eventually ended his career. Bill O'Brien thought that his story has actually been great for his guys to hear, how he's parlayed now what was a huge downer into a great second career that's really been vast in football.
Yep, overcoming adversity, so much a part of the lives of every football player in some form or fashion. A great example with Tim Lewis.
Tullis in there for this second down and 9. Has the give. Big hole. Tullis still on his feet. Inside the 25 to the 22.
A really nice job on the right side. Watch the right side of the offensive line. Just get on their track. Watch, right tackle is going to get to the second level. Center's going to get to the second level. Guard with a big block right here. Excellent job at the point of attack, opening the hole, getting to the second level with the defense. Amari Kelly with a nice block as well at the wide receiver possession. And a big-time run by Tullis. Again, the running game sets up the play action. They go hand in hand and set up big plays.
5 plays on this drive, all of them on the ground. Belling in there, the motion man. First down. Childs thought about it. Spins away. Childs looking to make some more magic and throws it out of bounds.
That's a winning play for Aiden Childs. He threw the ball away. There was pressure. The blitz was picked up. Bam Crouch was coming on a blitz. You're going to see number 1 come on the blitz. He's going to create some pressure. And right now, Aiden Childs says, I can't get a good throw here, but I can throw it away and bring up 2nd and 10. That's much better than trying to force something here.
And that's what he talked about with us. It's also what Jordan Hall told us that he's seen the biggest difference through camp. Is a lot of times last year he tried to squeeze that into a really tight window. Now he's going to take the loss and move on to second down. Design run. Childs tripped up by Q Hutchins, but a flag is down.
I think they're going to get the left tackle for a hold. Stanton Ramil. It was a short gain anyway.
Offense, number 65. 10-yard penalty. Replay second down.
Stanton Ramil, one of the guys that's playing tackle number 65. You're going to see him working on that edge rusher. It was a good inside move by Hutchins, number 15, and kind of the takedown by the left tackle Ramil.
So it becomes second down and 20.
And again, right now, if you're Aiden Childs, it's 2nd and 20. How can we get 10 yards back? Give us a chance at 3rd and 10, 3rd and 9. Not going to get all 20 back probably in one play.
Childs pumps, looking to get away, and does momentarily. Childs on the run, out of bounds.
That's just good disciplined coverage in the back end by BC. and they're not able to get to him on the rush. They're forcing him out of the pocket, but they don't lose coverage in the back end, and they force him to throw it away for the second time on this possession.
TB, we've talked about the field goal kicking situation for
Yeah.
Michigan State as well. Not necessarily in a strong place, certainly compared to last year with Jonathan Kim, who was essentially automatic. And so you've got a 3rd and 20 upcoming. Interesting to see what they do.
Half. You got to get half here to give yourself at least a chance to kick a field goal.
Tullis is in there for this 3rd down. BC rushes 4. Childs airs it out, looking end zone, incomplete. Marsh was back there with good coverage by Max Tucker.
Well, it's pretty much double coverage on Marsh, who's been the go-to guy down the field. Safety coming over the top to help, but that's Max Tucker in perfect position in coverage.
It's going to be a 50-yard attempt for Martin Connington. This is his collegiate debut. He redshirted last year. He was injured week 1, but he's their long-distance kicker. And we'll see what the redshirt freshman from Idaho has in store. It's curving, and it's good. What a way to start the career. Martin Connington ties the game at 24. Perfect operation. Eckley got it down, and Connington did the rest. Michigan State responds, and we're all even. Also, I do have to apologize to the great Magic Johnson for my gaffe earlier. 2 national championships for Michigan State basketball. You were here to see him, by the way. That was pretty impressive.
Yeah, I took a recruiting visit to Michigan State my senior year in high school. I got to watch Magic and Greg Kelsler play against Iowa. It was a double overtime win by the Spartans. It was like being in heaven, man. I love basketball. It was my favorite sport growing up, and I had a great time watching that game.
So Michigan State ties it up with a 50-yard field goal, and this one will be fair caught by McCormick inside the 5. So we'll be back to see if Dylan Lonergan can keep this up to 272 and 3 scores. From an academy, the Army transfer punching it in. An exciting game down the stretch. A lot of exciting games clearly in prime time tonight.
Absolutely. We have a Service Academy transfer in this game. David Santiago from Air Force made a big play behind the line of scrimmage.
Truly don't see it often.
No.
Bo McCormick, the freshman, in there at running back, and he does have the carry. Gets swallowed up at the line of scrimmage.
This Boston College offense is operating at a high level of efficiency, and it starts with protection. Not a lot of yards rushing, most of the damage through the air. And Lonergan, other than the first possession where he took a sack because of confusion on the coverage, he has had plenty of time. He's been unbothered, unmolested back there, and he's had a chance to really pick apart this Michigan State defense. Will Lawing, the offensive coordinator, doing a nice job of mixing things up, quick throws. And his quarterback has responded well.
Fake it to Bond, now pitch it to Bond. That was a backward pass, but Bond has nowhere to go. Read perfectly by the Spartan defense. Wayne Matthews fired up after the play.
Something didn't look right on this play, but it might have been the pressure from the edge. Watch the pressure come right here, right into the backfield. Again, McCormick is a freshman back, and he kind of gets overpowered there, and maybe that forced Lonergan to get rid of the ball before he wanted to. Nonetheless, 3rd and very long again for this Michigan State defense. This time a chance to flip the field if they get a stop here.
3 of 6 on 3rd down. They've had a number of penalties go their way to extend drives. Play clock down to 3.
Going to drop 8. They're rushing 3. They'll force the underneath throw and try to tackle.
Richard to the outside. Will not get there.
That's a great defensive possession. Maybe the best of the game for Michigan State. Not only a 3 and out, but a couple negative yardage plays and force a punt from Boston College in their own territory.
So a little bit of some words with LaFelle exchanging some on the Michigan State side, but Aiden Childs will now have a chance, barring anything crazy like we saw on the first possession with a 3 and out force, to get his team back in front.
A late run on the field for Michigan State.
And a flag is down. This is a short punt with an MSU bounce, but now we wait for the penalty.
Was that a 12th guy running on the field? That's my question.
And that was right as the snap was happening. See, Boyd came sprinting on. So now we wait to hear from Jerry McElhanus. There's 2 flags on the field, one at the Michigan State 37, the other one at the BC 23. Both against Michigan State.
Yeah, that was a 12th man running on with Boyd. So that's one of the penalties.
Let's not forget again, there were a number of third downs late in that second quarter
There are
that
2
helped
fouls,
on penalties.
both on the receiving team. Illegal substitution. 12 players on the field is declined. Correction, holding number 44 is declined. Illegal substitution, 12 players in formation is accepted. It's a 5-yard penalty. We'll replay 4th down.
So what ended up being a pretty bad punt is a do-over for Seamus Florio. First look at the hold. Right there.
Well, I mean, for Michigan State, it could have been a whole lot worse.
Yeah.
At least they're getting a punt again and a chance to return the ball. Kelly's got to take care of it.
And Florio this time gets more of a line drive. Kelly lets it bounce and then tries to field it. That was dangerous.
Very dangerous.
He did keep it this time around, but he gets planted immediately. And when it's all said and done, what would have been the ball around the 50 instead is the ball around the 24. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station. You're watching Big Ten Saturday Night on NBC, presented by Discover. Aerial coverage brought to you by Ford Blue Cruise, hands-free highway driving. We've got a ball game as we start the 4th quarter. Seven Nations Army blaring at Spartan Stadium, and Aiden Childs, he's got 9 completions for 119 yards and 3 touchdowns, but 4 of those completions to Nick Marsh, and nobody else has more than 1.
Yeah, and I think he's going to have to try to find some other targets because I think BC is kind of tilting their coverage to Marsh. You've got these transfers you brought in that haven't been much of a factor yet. And you've got to spread the football around. Jack Velling, your tight end, only 1 target. I think he's got to look to go other places with the football here with the 4th quarter starting.
This drive starts from the 24-yard line. Play action. Childs stepping into one. In stride, just a little bit too in front of Amari Kelly.
Well, it's the right read because they had the safety coming over the top to help on Marsh. So now you got the dig route. He's got separation, and the ball's just thrown too far outside. Amari Jackson's in coverage. The receiver ran a good route, gets separation, and just a missed opportunity by Aiden Childs.
Hasn't had too many sail on him, but a couple of big opportunities that were missed. And that's something Jonathan Smith did mention. Felt like they had some explosives last week that they just missed in their win over Western Michigan. 2nd down and 10 for Childs. With protection, now he's going to run. Childs keeps his eyes downfield, throws it sideline. Oh, what a grab!
And there's McCray. For the first time, you get somebody else involved, and Christian McCray comes through. But watch again, pressure, and it's an unblocked rusher, and he doesn't get home. And that opens up some grass for Aiden Childs, and credit Childs for not just taking off and running, but keeping his eyes downfield, and then a big-time catch by the transfer from Kent State.
That is ridiculous stuff to go up and just snatch it down for 23 yards. What a way to get your first catch of the day. 1st down now. Give Frazier, bounce to the outside. Stutter step move back to the line of scrimmage with a flag down.
In the area of holding, which is going to back up Michigan State. You got momentum, you're right around midfield, and then you're going to go backwards here.
Holding offense, number 58. 10-yard penalty. Replay 1st down.
Right in here. Connor Moore. So not only is this team playing multiple linemen, but they're moving them on different sides. That time Connor Moore was lined up at left tackle. They're not only playing different people up front, they're playing them in different spots, which is a little bit unusual, but they're doing that. That's the third different offensive line combination here in the second half that we've seen. They did the same thing in the first half.
Coaching staff loves the fact that it's created extra competition and depth up front. Childs with a rusher coming from his backside, and he's down. Omar Thornton had the beat and never gave up on Aiden Childs.
See, the last two times when he escaped the pocket, the pressure came from here. This time they're bringing it from his blind side, and Childs doesn't feel it. He doesn't recognize it till late. The left tackle, Connor Moore, is not able to get out and pick it up. And Childs has ended up with the sack. Good change of pace that time by Tim Lewis, bringing the pressure from the other side where the quarterback couldn't see it.
So after the 23-yard incredible catch from McCray, Michigan State backed up to 2nd and 27. Childs with time this time. Floated. Another catch from McCray over the middle. And he gets leveled at the 40.
Well, again, you take what the defense will give you. If they want to really pay a lot of attention to Nick Marsh, you brought these other receivers in. You went in the portal. You brought 4 guys in. You brought in Omari Kelly. You brought in Evan Boyd, Krishan McCray, Rodney Bullard. Jack Velling transferred last year. I mean, these are guys that have to be a bigger part of your offense to take some pressure off of Nick Marsh.
3rd and 18. Childs, 5-man rush to the outside. It's Marsh. He's got a long way to go and won't get even close to it. Amari Jackson stayed in front of him, and Boston College gets the stop.
Yeah, well, we've seen both defenses now come up with big defensive possessions, right? Get a couple negative yardage plays, get a penalty, and then come up and tackle well on 3rd and long and force a punt.
So Eckley back out there, just his 2nd punt of the day, and the first one was a beauty, a 60-yarder to pin them inside the 20.
So he has a chance to really keep the field position in Michigan State's favor. And here in the 4th quarter, turnovers and field position may determine the outcome of the game.
See where this one lands. It's got a lot of leg. And what a bounce from Michigan State. Can they get, oh, it's just gonna die. Eckley is a Spartan legend. Down to the 1. Yeah, that's a sand wedge. That's a 60-degree.
Beautiful sand wedge with some back juju on it.
Eckley says punters can have swag too, but a flag is down.
During the kick, holding number 1 receiving team. Half the distance to the goal from the end of the play. First down, Boston College.
The Eagles will have it at the half-yard line. They will have to go the entire length of the field. Look at the bounce from Eckley, the preseason All-American. It dies, and the Spartans have some momentum in the 4th. Sunday on Peacock. Well, the crowd's back into it now here at Spartan Stadium. It's a first down from the half-yard line for BC.
BC in the shotgun. Normally you think quarterback sneak here just to get it out from your goal line, but they've got the quarterback 5 yards deep in the end zone.
Michigan State did have a safety. Their only points last week in the second half against Western Michigan. Can they do it again to take the lead? Lonergan will throw. Good pocket, steps into it. It was short, but looks like the adjustment was made, and it is a first down catch for Reed Harris.
Boy, what a gutsy call. Bill O'Brien and Will Lawing trusting their quarterback. You know, if you get a penalty, a holding, when your quarterback's in the end zone, it's a safety. But again, the ball's out pretty quick. It looked like the receiver got both arms under the ball. They'll take a look at it for sure.
Ooh, I'm not sure he had control before it hit the ground. Meanwhile, there is a Michigan State defender that's down on the field, and it looks like it's Jordan Hall, who already exited the game early with an injury, has come back and played well again. But you can see his frustration as he's on his feet and will make his way to the sideline. Again, they're going to look at this catch.
It's a big call.
Massive.
I mean, you're allowed to hit the ball, can hit the ground, but it can't help you make the catch. Terry, what'd you see?
Pretty much the same thing you guys did on this last shot, but we do lose part of the ball. It does eventually hit the ground, but we lose it right there. What is it? Does he have it in his other hand? Right now, I don't think it's conclusive to reverse in replay. See if we can get another shot here. That one looked more like he had it.
And they're not even going to make an announcement here, Terry. Yeah. They're just going to let this play. So it will stand as a catch. And it's first down from the 19.
Gutsy throw by Lonergan.
They go back to the air. And a little bit high, tipped and out of the hands of Ty Lockwood. Threw a fastball when he needed a changeup.
Lockwood, one of 4 or 5 tight ends that BC plays. I mean, they rotate a lot of guys in there. They like all of them. Franklin, the most reliable receiver type, but Lockwood, Zeke Moore, we've seen in there a lot. Right now, the true freshman, Kalen Chudzinski, is in at tight end. His dad, Rob, longtime coach, is on the BC staff with Bill O'Brien.
Empty set on 2nd and 10. Lonergan behind his receiver. Bond couldn't get to it, and it was nearly picked off.
2 throws in a row, Noah, that were tipped up in the air, and typically bad things happen. And the normally sure-handed boy, this is not a good throw. It's behind the receiver, and the ball goes up in the air, and Dylan Lonergan very lucky that that one wasn't picked off.
There were 2 Spartans in the area. Pretzlaff and Ade Willie both had a chance at it, but it's still 3rd down and 10, and now the keys are out at Spartan Stadium.
Protection has been really solid for BC so far tonight.
Lonergan, clean pocket, batted down at the line. Jalen Thompson up the middle, was in the middle of the action along with David Santiago.
Yeah, it was only a 4-man rush, and Santiago is the guy who got a hand on the football. He knew he wasn't going to be able to get to the quarterback, but watch him loop inside, and he keeps eyes on the quarterback. Can't get the sack, but he can get the knockdown and force the punt.
So a great stand again. Jordan Hall talked to us about recovery, next play mentality, and this defense has shown it. Kelly has been daring in the return game, including a fumble on his first attempt, and this one, again, he's just lucky to keep in his arms. So not much of a return after a 48-yard punt, and Aiden Childs will have another chance to pull his team out in front on Big Ten Saturday night. South Bend, Notre Dame coming off the week 1 loss to Miami in a bye week, taking on 2-0 Texas A&M. We'll have all the coverage here on NBC and Peacock. Here at Spartan Stadium, huge drive ahead with 10.5 to play for Aiden Childs on the Spartans. Play action on first down, rolling, throwing, catching. Nice catch by Masunas, who had a touchdown earlier across midfield on the catch and run.
Boy, they really lost Masunas again. He shows block, and they turn him loose. Here he is. He's going to show block, and then they forget about him. Nice job by Childs, giving a good ball fake and getting the ball out to a wide-open Masunas for a big gain on the first play of the drive. Boston College just kind of lost track of him. With Velling and him on the same side, he showed block, and they let him go.
So fresh set of downs already in even territory. Frazier just slipped. Loss of 3 gets them back in their own territory.
Negative yardage play that is on their own. I mean, it wasn't because of the BC defense, just a slip of foot by Frazier.
All right, clip Childs.
You could see how conscious they are of Childs pulling that football. Carter Davis, number 7, the safety, was on the edge there with eyes on the quarterback. It was kind of a zone read play, and he was responsible for the quarterback.
2nd and 13. Frazier.
Great cut.
Gets upended, he lost the football. It's recovered by Michigan State. Looked like he may have been down by contact anyway, but it was punched out by Carter Davis. It was awfully close, and Kelly does come up with it.
Yeah. Omari Kelly, who's put it on the ground a couple times himself, comes up with the recovery, goes up and over the defender. Is he down first before the ball comes out? Looks like his forearm's down, and that's key because that's going to be a difference in about 5 or 6 yards from where the ball was recovered.
So it sets up 3rd down and 2 at the 40. Tao Tolliver now the running back. We haven't seen him in the backfield a whole lot. The 5th-year senior.
Timeout BC.
So with 8:24 to play.
Timeout. Boston College, their first time out of the half.
You can see the frustration from Bill O'Brien. Dylan Lonergan watches on and hopes his defense can hold here with 8.5 to play in a tie game. Time now for a Modelo game break. John Fanta, what's going on?
Noah, Todd, Mateer Mania is going on. He's got 3 touchdowns, 2 on the ground, 1 passing. He scores to put Oklahoma up at this time by 2 scores. Now it's down to a 1-score game, end of the 4th.
That's a battle, as expected, between those 2 teams. A top 20 matchup in Norman.
You know, I was at the Manning Passing Academy this summer, and I got to meet John Mateer for the first time, and I love the kid. I mean, you talk about a dude with swag. He reminded me so much of a former Oklahoma quarterback by the name of Baker Mayfield. Just the way he carried himself, the way he interacted with the kids, the other college quarterbacks. You just knew good things were in store for him at Norman.
This is the upcoming schedule presented by Discover, Towson and Maryland, Ohio and Ohio State, and of course A&M and Notre Dame. Here's a 3rd down and 2 and a big one for Michigan State. Tao Tolliver, 6'1", 211 pounds in the backfield. Tao Tolliver has it. Flag is down. Tolliver continues to push. They're going to mark him at mere inches short, but we'll wait for the penalty.
They're going to call offsides on Boston College. I thought there was early movement by Michigan State, but obviously they lined up in the neutral zone, and that'll be a free 1st down for the Spartans.
Offside, defense, number 15. 5-yard penalty, results in the 1st down.
It's Hutchins right here, number 15. It wasn't a jump offsides. He was lined up offsides. And a freebie for the Spartans because they weren't getting it on the play.
We've seen the Michigan State miscues in that respect in the 2nd quarter. And what was a clean game early, now with 12 combined penalties, and both teams shooting themselves in the foot defensively.
Bullard at the top of the screen, number 3. He can really run.
Childs was looking the other way initially. Now he's going to rip it for him down the sideline. The adjustment. Bullard thought he was held, and no flag is down. Max Tucker was there in coverage.
Bullard is one of those transfers they feel can really take the top off of the defense. Pretty good job in coverage by Max Tucker, number 3. What happened at the end? That's a grab. That's pass interference. I mean,
There's no question.
Horrible miscall. I mean, he pulls the... Now, there was a tug on the jersey by the receiver. Boy, it sure looked like pass interference.
So a tough miss for the Spartans as Tucker will go to the side. It's 2nd down and 10. Tao Tolliver, handoff. And he slipped free for about a yard. Edwin Kalenge is there to rack up the tackle.
A big play right here now. 3rd and 9 for Aiden Childs.
Well, we saw that clearly Martin Connington is more than capable of nailing a long field goal. So initially you would have said maybe 4-down territory, but this is already close to that 50-yard range of where he hit the first one.
Yeah. Well, the only problem, if you're not 100% confident in that and he misses, the field position now switches to Boston College. Right now, you have the edge in field position ahead of this play.
3rd and 9. Childs, good protection, tried to get away. How did he stay on his feet? Aiden Childs, this is ridiculous. Childs, please. 1st down, Spartans.
Well, first of all, you're going to see Thornton come in here, and he's got a clean shot on it. But the size and strength of Aiden Childs bounces off of that tackle and then the speed to outrun McGowan, and then just out there playground making plays. Big time play on third down. We've seen it multiple times tonight by Aiden Childs. He did it to Boston College last year up there, and he's doing it to him again. You have the perfect defense call. You have a free rusher there, and you can't get him on the ground.
Play clock was down to 7, so Michigan State's going to take their first time out.
Michigan State, their first time out of the half. 36.
Well, Jonathan Smith talked about playing all 4 quarters, and let's check in with KT.
Yeah, guys, and this is a depleted Boston College defense right now. Defensive tackle Owen Stoudemire just came off the field holding his left arm gingerly, and cornerback Amari Jackson is questionable to return with a leg injury.
Oh, those are 2 big blows for this Eagles defense that has played some very impressive football today, but you've got to, if you're Jonathan Smith, feel better about the way your team has continued to lock in this second half, far better than they did a week ago.
Absolutely. I mean, they are in the process of finishing the game, right? They're still focused. They're still on point, and that starts with Aiden Childs. Their defense has come up with some stops here to disrupt the rhythm of Dylan Lonergan, and right now, you want to work the clock too. I mean, you're in position to take the lead in the game. You want to work the clock and milk the clock as much as you can as well, leading up to a go-ahead score.
Always an interesting balance of remaining aggressive while trying to take that time down as much as possible. First down, Tal Tolliver has been the back for a lot of this possession. Inside the red zone for Childs. Play action, quick throw, and McCray makes the catch. He is shifty and speedy. It's first and goal.
Now this is a beautiful play because they use the big body Marsh as the lead blocker and throw the screen underneath him. Watch Marsh get the block. Perfect position. They bring McCray back underneath. They get 2 linemen out in front. And a nice, safe, quick throw for Aiden Childs for another first down.
And Nick Marsh talked about how much he learned last year that he can be a decoy for the rest of his receiver room. Did it there, used the block as well to spring McCray. And now first and goal, under 6 minutes to play for the Spartans. Looking to regain the lead. Tal Tolliver to the outside. The speed, the touchdown! Michigan State has the lead.
Holding, offense, number 65. 10-yard penalty, replay first down.
That's the second holding penalty on Ramil. He's playing left tackle. Here he is, 65. It looked like it was well blocked, well executed. And there's the grab at the very end with the left hand. So often when that defender tries to peel out to make a play, instinctively that offensive lineman reaches and grabs, and that's an unfortunate penalty on Ramil.
The flag came in late. The band didn't even get the memo. They continue to play, and so we go back to a tie game with 5:43 to play.
2 backs in the backfield now.
It's Frazier and Tullis, the childhood friends. First and goal from the 17. Childs taking a lot of time. Now he's going to have to get away. Childs on the run in the end zone.
And out of room.
It was Marsh who did have some separation, but Childs a little bit late seeing him, and it's second and goal.
Well, again, BC is so concerned about keeping Aiden Childs in the pocket. Even if he starts to scramble, keep him hemmed in. Make him make a throw from the pocket area. We've seen how dangerous he is when he gets outside of it. That time, really well done by Q Hutchins, number 15, just kind of keeping him in his sights.
Marsh, McCray, Kelly, Velling, all out there, along with Frazier, the back. It's second and goal. Frazier finds some space. Frazier inside the 10.
Really nice cut. Good vision by Frazier. This ball's hitting to the right side of the center, and then he bends it all the way back and runs away from KP Price, number 2. When you run zone plays like that, even if it's blocked to the right side, you always have the ability to cut it back if the defense overruns the play. And that time KP Price kind of overran it, and Frazier made the right cut.
Michael Masunis, who had a nice catch early in the drive and a touchdown earlier in this game, out there for this third and goal. from the 9-yard line. Free rusher, Childs won't get away. Nobody picked up the captain, Owen McGowan, and a big play for this Eagles defense.
Yeah, this is a mistake by Tullis. You never turn a guy loose on the inside. Here's McGowan, who's coming right here. The back has got to pick him up. He can't float outside and get somebody coming from the outside. Block everybody on the inside first, and that's a mistake by the back Tullis, and Childs had no chance to throw the football.
So Martin Connangton, who already made from 50, will try from 39 to give the Spartans the lead. And his kick is good. 2 for 2 to start his college career, and Connangton puts his team in front by 3. Aiden Childs orchestrates another scoring drive, and now it's up to the Spartan defense to hold tough and get them to 2-0 on this young season. TV.
You know, and Sam Levitt, ironically, was here at Michigan State. I mean, he was part of a 3-quarterback deal that all of them left Michigan State. Sam Levitt landed in the right spot at Arizona State with Kenny Dillingham and one of the top young quarterbacks in the country.
And now it's shooting off draft boards. First-round pick projected by most quote-unquote experts. Eckley is going to send it away. Michigan State trying to hold on to this 3-point lead. And this line drive kick will bounce, muffed, and finally taken in at the 11. Nice job by McCormick just to get something just shy of the 20-yard line. It's time now for the playlist in a game that has been back and forth from the start. Dylan Lonergan, his first career road start, career high 297 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no picks. Aiden Childs has responded, especially in this second half. 187 yards and a career high tying 3 touchdowns. 2 of them going to his main man, Nick Marsh. 5 catches, 2 of them for scores, his first career multi-touchdown game.
Well, as good as Lonergan has been, it's what have you done for me lately, because now he's got to play his best.
Turbo Richard, catch and run out of bounds. The Boston College offense in this second half has only 84 yards after that last catch.
Yeah, they've had a couple negative yardage plays that have put them in 3rd and long, and the Michigan State defense has come up with some stops. But this is when the money's on the table for Dylan Lonergan, and all those stats are great, but as a quarterback, these are the kind of situations you dream of being in. Leading your team, you're down 3, 4th quarter on the road. It's as good as it gets.
Richard swallowed up a yard shy of the first down. Clock ticks under 3.5.
Plenty of time for Dylan Lonergan. They've got 2 timeouts. Jonathan Smith talked about his team needing to learn how to play 60 minutes of football. And we knew this game was going to take 60 minutes of football by both teams. Who's got the mental fortitude, the mental toughness here in the last 3 minutes?
It has lived up to the billing. Handoff. Richard got it. First down. The 2 timeouts and the 2-minute timeout, which is quickly approaching. Bill O'Brien hoping that his young quarterback, who he recruited at Alabama when he was the offensive coordinator in Tuscaloosa, can lead his team to a win on the road. Lonergan over the middle. Oh, that's tipped and incomplete.
That's 3 now that he's gotten away with. And, you know, he hasn't been off target much, but 3 times he's thrown the ball and the ball's got tipped in the middle of the field. And all 3 times he's gotten away with it. This one off the hands of Bond and falls harmlessly to the ground in front of Spencer.
It was Bond who had the game-winning touchdown in the final 90 seconds last year in a 23-19 victory for Boston College at Chestnut Hill. 2:25 to play. 2nd and 10. Lonergan delivers. Incomplete, looking for Franklin. He's handled this environment so beautifully up to this point.
Yep.
But you sense maybe a little bit of nerves.
A little bit. I mean, hey, this is crunch time. Pretty good pressure by Cam Williams that time. One of those edge rushers that they brought in out of Georgia State. Might have affected Dylan Lonergan a little bit on that play. Big 3rd down play again. 4 of 9 on third down in the ball game for BC.
Motion Richard. 3rd and 10. Lonergan over the middle. It's caught. Franklin bouncing off bodies for the first down.
Beautiful, beautiful timing, because he throws this as soon as his tight end turns his head. It's a 3-man rush. They're dropping 8, and Lonergan and the tight end found the hole in the defense for the first down.
That'll bring us to the 2-minute timeout. Boston College coming up big in a big spot. Lonergan stands tough, delivers amidst the pressure, and his tight end does the rest. 2 minutes to play in a 3-point game. Jonathan Smith told us you got to win these games in the 4th quarter. This game was won in the 4th quarter last year by Boston College. Different quarterback, but same type of situation. Do they have another one in them as they near midfield? First down from the 48. Richard goes out wide. Lonergan over the middle. It's caught. Bond inside the 40. First down.
See, again, when they put the running back out in motion and the corner stayed out there, that tells the quarterback zone. So he waited for that in route to open up to Bond in the middle of that zone defense.
Keeping their 2 timeouts, plenty of time for Lonergan. Right back to Bond. His main man gets another first down, but stays in bounds. 13 yards.
Well, right now, if you're Bill O'Brien, you don't really care about stopping the clock. I mean, you're in decent range right here. You don't want Michigan State to have very much time if they get the ball back as well.
Lonergan on first down, continues to sling it. It's Franklin again, who catches his 6th football of the evening.
Timeout BC right there. Bill O'Brien went down there and made the call. And you know what? I know they made the field goal earlier, right? But I got to believe they're thinking, we want to be aggressive and try to get a touchdown here. We only attempted 5 last year. You know, are we rolling the dice by counting on this guy again when we're down 3 on the road? I think they would rather have the ball in Dylan Lonergan's hand to try to get there with a touchdown, as opposed to settling for a field goal if they can afford not to.
I mean, it'd be hard to argue. He's 30 of 39 with 350 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's played a very mistake-free game aside from a couple of those passes that were in harm's way off of tips. To be fair, though, Luca Lombardo last week did nail a career-high 48-yard field goal, and he made his lone attempt so far here tonight. So we'll see what the play calling looks like with 1 timeout remaining for Boston College on a 2nd and 5.
I'm just saying, if I'm Joe Rossi and I'm Michigan State, I'm not thinking that they're playing for a field goal here. I'm thinking BC is going to try to attack the end zone on me.
10th play of the drive. Lonergan. Oh, that was a nice beat to the football by Chance Rucker. He was looking for Franklin again, and Rucker got the step.
Yeah, it's a zone defense, so Rucker has eyes on the quarterback. He doesn't go with the wide receiver. He comes to the underneath route. He reads it correctly and knocks the ball away.
It looked like he might have got there a little bit early.
Lonergan expecting man coverage on that. Got fooled a little bit. And here comes 3rd down. Where's Bond in the middle of this operation?
3rd and 5. Lonergan. Rifles. Incomplete. He was looking for Bond. That was tight coverage from Jordan Hall with a little bit of contact, but it's 4th down.
He gets forced out of the pocket. Rucker comes to the quarterback and does a good job of not roughing the passer. Remember, we had that with Jordan Hall earlier in the game, and they forced the incompletion, and here comes the tying field goal attempt.
The made field goal was from 37. This one's from 38. Lombardo will kick, Florio will hold, and Crook will snap it to tie the game. Lombardo is perfect. 27 up with 1:16 remaining.
A good operation. Hold and kick. Ice water in the veins of the kicker. We're tied up, and now everything shifts to Aiden Childs, and now he gets that opportunity to lead his team on a game-winning drive with under 2 minutes to play.
This is an eerily similar situation when they got the football back now. They were down last year to Boston College by 4, but remember, 2 timeouts, plenty of time with just about 50 seconds remaining, and he decided to take a shot to the end zone.
Yeah, on a first down play. I mean, it was 45 seconds left. He got a little panicky and tried to get it all in one play and threw an interception. Now, it's also important to remember, they don't need a touchdown. They were down 4 last year when that happened. This is tied. They just need to get in field goal range to have a chance to win the football game.
Conington has made from 50 and from 39. They're going to go with a little pooch kick here, and it's fielded by Tao Tolliver on the fair catch. So 27 apiece, 1:16 remaining, and this drive will start from the 25-yard line. To get to that 50-yard range, you'd have to get to about the 32-yard line. And Aiden Childs, the questions all offseason, how much has he matured? How much has he settled down as a quarterback? This is the perfect example of a chance to showcase exactly all those skills.
Yep, I mean, you want to win it here with 1:16 and 2 timeouts, but worst case scenario is you take this game into overtime at home and you try to win it there. If it doesn't work out on this drive, that's the worst case scenario for you at this point in the game.
Frazier will be in the backfield.
First down is most critical. Can you get that first down in a couple plays?
From the 25, Childs with his legs, stutter step. There is that first down across the 40-yard line. Childs once again with his legs.
Not a designed run, just sees the grass. A lack of discipline on the rush lanes by BC, and Childs beats him with his legs.
Approaching a minute to play. Childs, uncorked, sideline, caught, Amari Kelly.
Really nice read this time. Now, he had an underneath receiver that he looked at first, and then he saw Kelly get separation on the sideline and hit him with the completion. Under a minute now, and in BC territory.
17 yards to the BC 41. Pressure comes. Childs feels it, tries to get away, and he'll just wisely go down here.
They have to call timeout right here. Jonathan Smith not happy that his quarterback took the sack there. Probably should have thrown it away, because then you would have been able to save that timeout if he throws the football away.
Their second timeout of the half.
Again, this is something you can't coach or teach. I mean, it's just instinct. It's being able to make plays with your arm and with your leg. He comes right back after that, makes a big-time throw on the sideline, shows the arm strength to Kelly, and then makes the mistake of taking the sack and not throwing the football away and forcing them to use a timeout when they really didn't need to. Again, the maturation process of Aiden Childs is an everyday thing. I mean, he's definitely different than he was last year. He's made better decisions. He's taken better care of the ball, but it still is a work in progress.
You just look at that play, though, even the sack that he takes, he forces that ball last year into a tight window and potentially gives it away. Instead, it's 2nd and 11, still 1 timeout remaining for Michigan State. Marsh matched up with Torrance. Will they look that way? Oh, and Childs takes another sack off the edge. Q Hutchins with a huge play.
Well, Q Hutchins is their best edge guy. They decided to try to block him one-on-one. No help from the tight end, no chip block, and he just whips Ramil, the left tackle, right here. They were concerned about him. Tackle had no help, and just no match for the speed rush of Q Hutchins, and a big-time sack for BC.
So now things get interesting, because you've got a 3rd and 20 from the 49-yard line. You really, to get to that 50-yard range, you got to get about 17 yards here.
Yeah.
And so the play calling is going to be intriguing, let's call it, as to what they decide to do, how aggressive they remain.
BC still has 1 timeout. You know, in the event that they can get the ball back. Right now, if you're Michigan State, I mean, you call a play, but you're also thinking overtime's not a bad deal here, you know, and BC's thinking the same way. Let's try to win it in overtime with 36 seconds left. Not a lot of time to do much, but if they can get in position to at least try the field goal, it'll come on this play. But you better help on Q Hutchins, number 15.
3rd and 19 officially from midfield.
3-man rush this time.
Plenty of time for Childs. Now it runs out. Hutchins came in there and he throws the incompletion.
Yeah, Hutchins came late. See, this time he lined up like a linebacker who was spying the quarterback. His job was to spy Aiden Childs. Here he is right here. Watch him. He's not going to rush. He's just going to keep his eyes on the quarterback.
He gets spun down awkwardly here, and Todd, he is still down on the field, Aiden Childs. He has played stellar football for the most part today. 15 of 25, 204 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's also run for 36 yards on 11 attempts. But he is slow to get up here, and the crowd is silent at Spartan Stadium.
Yeah, really a good play by Hutchins. And you just see kind of the awkward way he went down, trying to throw that football away and grimacing a little bit at the end of the play.
They get out on the field and trying to work Childs. So much promise.
Yeah.
And we saw a lot of the flashes of brilliance this year. Their backup quarterback, Alessio Milivojevic, as Childs gets up. Milivojevic last week threw just 1 pass, and it was a pick 6. Now they do have a lot of belief in him and trust in him should he have to go in, should this game go to overtime here.
Well, I think Childs may have actually gotten kicked at the end of that play. And now the question is, if they do go to overtime after the punt here, is he going to be effective as a runner?
Right.
Or is he going to be a little bit hampered in that part of his game? Because that is a critical part of his game when you get into overtime in the red zone.
Still 1 timeout for BC. Eckley has pinned them inside the 20 twice, including one that started a drive from inside the 1-yard line. This one line drive. He'll bounce again.
This guy's
perfectly to the 1. You can't do it any better than what he's done tonight. And yeah, Swag walk it off. And again, let's not forget, Michigan State had a safety last week against Western Michigan. And Boston College is going to have to get completely out of the woods here.
And remember, we haven't seen Boston College put their quarterback under center the entire game. He's been in shotgun, which would put him about 6 yards deep in the end zone. I mean, I would expect BC is going to just run the football and then just go play overtime.
So again, it'll be out of the gun. Can Michigan State find a way to get home? 21 seconds left in a tie game. Richard just gets out of the end zone.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to worry about the timeout. They're just going to go play overtime.
And that is exactly what's going to happen at Spartan Stadium. So we'll wait to see if Aiden Childs is ready to go, or if it's going to be his backup, the redshirt freshman Alessio Milivojevic. We'll be right back for overtime after these messages from your local station. Overtime here in East Lansing, 27 apiece after 4 quarters, and the question becomes, will Aiden Childs be ready? We don't see him right now on warming up. Alessio Milivojevic, the redshirt freshman from Naperville, Illinois. 1 pass last week. It was a pick 6 against Western Michigan. You see Childs just popped out of the tent, but he doesn't have his helmet currently. They're going to have to wait for the coin toss to see who's going to start with the football in overtime. But good to see him out there. Lonergan with the helmet on, 350 yards and 3 touchdowns in his first road start. This has been a heck of a ball game between these two schools.
Yeah, and both quarterbacks have shown up and made big-time plays. Very different in styles, right? Very different in the way they've done their jobs, but both have put their teams in position to win this critical Week 2 matchup.
So we'll see who will win the toss. Tend to see what you need and defer. Luke McLaughlin, the lone captain for BC.
It was a great game, but played by both teams. We'll have one coin toss. Boston College, you will call it. The coin we started with is a silver dollar. There's heads, there's tails. What's your choice? Tails is the choice. It is tails. You win the toss, offense, defense, or end of the field. You're going to go in defense. You'll take the ball, but which way do you want to go? Okay, put your back down there. Boston College, put your back down here. Michigan State will have the ball first.
So as expected, winner of the toss, which was BC, decides to defer to see what they need offensively. If they can get a stop, they can win it with a score. And Aiden Childs appears to be ready to go. So a great sign for Michigan State.
Yeah. And he doesn't seem to be hobbling at all either, which is another good sign. Because again, part of what makes him special is his ability to make plays with his legs if things break down.
Childs 15 of 25, 204 and 3 touchdowns. Lonergan, as mentioned, 350 yards, a career high with 3 touchdowns. Michigan State has tried to establish the run. Frazier with 61 yards on the ground. Tullis has 29. And we'll get to see the Michigan State offense out on the field. They had a chance to win it with under 2 minutes remaining and stalled out just past midfield with a couple of sacks taken by Childs. And the last hit, which was applied by Q Hutchins, was what sent him to the sideline hobbling. Nick Marsh was targeted early and often, but in this second half, this BC defense has done a good job of keying in on him and forcing Childs to go elsewhere. Kelly in motion on first down. Play action. Childs on the move. It's Kelly with a catch and out of bounds after a gain of 4.
Now, good decision. I mean, he had Marsh on a deeper cross, but he was well covered. And that's where he was looking first, but made the right decision to come underneath to Kelly and a positive gain on first down.
They send Coyne in there as the extra back. 6'1", 230-pound fullback. Started as a defensive end. In the eye.
Man coverage with a free safety. A lot of guys around the line of scrimmage.
Frazier. Decent blocking and plunges forward inside the 20 to the 18.
Good blocking on the right side. Vinicius and Connor Moore on that right side opening the hole. Third down and manageable here. You want to get this first down in overtime. It's just so critical. That automatically puts you in pretty solid field goal range and gives you a new set of downs. So huge play here at 3rd and 3.
They got both backs in there. Late sub from Boston College. Michigan State has to wait. Play clock now at 4. Childs, good protection. Loads it up, right on target. Kelly with the catch. It's 1st and goal.
Yeah, you called it, Noah. Excellent protection. 4-man rush. They did a great job of giving a clean pocket. And he finds Kelly coming over the middle. Zone defense by BC. And Kelly does a nice job of getting in that hole, sitting down and turning his jersey number to the quarterback. Childs scanning the field, sees Kelly, good target. And a first down here inside the 10-yard line.
That's what Jonathan Smith has been preaching to his quarterback. Keep your eyes downfield. Even after you've taken a few hits, make sure you stand tall in the pocket and deliver. He did. On the give. Frazier dancing to the 5. Ty Clemens undercuts him there. 2nd down. Dylan Lonergan waiting for his turn, seeing if his defense can get them a stop and give him a chance to win it.
And bringing Coyne back in as a lead blocker here. Wouldn't be surprised if this is a called quarterback run, though, on 2nd down from the 5-yard line.
We'll see what Childs' mobility looks like. Under center on 2nd and goal. Play action. Childs open. Touchdown. It's Jay Coyne. Childs cashes in the Coyne from 5 yards out.
You bring Coyne in. It looks like run. It's play action. And I'll tell you who did a great job is Omari Kelly, who got a piece of Bam Crouch, who was in coverage on the back out of the backfield. Well-designed play and the perfect time to call it on second down. BC expecting run with that personnel group in, and they crossed him up with the play action pass.
So Connaughton will come in for the extra point, and he's got it. 34-27, Michigan State strikes first in OT.
Now watch this play now. Watch Omari Kelly run his route and get a piece of this guy who's responsible for the back out of the backfield. He just gets enough of a piece. He knocks him off coverage and opens up Coyne. And a beautiful play call on second down in the red zone. And Michigan State strikes first in overtime.
So now it's Boston College's turn. Childs fired up with a 4-touchdown evening here tonight, 18 of 28. And that is some guts after getting hurt towards the end of regulation. So Lonergan, we saw maybe a little bit of nerves towards the end of the fourth quarter, but he then made up for it, stood tall, and led them down the field to tie the game. We'll see what he has here. Now down by 7. Direct snap goes to Bond, and he'll drag a couple tacklers with him across the 20 to the 18.
Second time in the ball game we've seen a little jet sweep action. That's kind of a tricky little play, snapping it directly to Bond. He fielded the snap and turned it into an 8-yard gain.
Second down and 3 upcoming. Lonergan to Richard. First down, out of bounds.
And they've worked that 3-man combination route into the boundary a lot. And they space out the defense in the short side of the field. You've got the back as the short receiver, and Lonergan reads it right and gets the ball out quickly, and very difficult to defend for Michigan State.
So first and goal now from the 9. Turbo Richards, 7 catches, 66 yards, and a receiving touchdown to go with his 47 on the ground. A productive day for the sophomore from Charlotte. 2 tight ends in there. Moore in motion. Lonergan outside. Bonds trying to get away, and he's down to the 1. Gave the stiff arm a chance. Rucker, who just held on for dear life.
Really good play fake this time by Lonergan. I mean, he really carried out the fake to Richard, and that held the defense in. Watch how long he holds this fake. Holds the defense in, and he's able to throw that little return route out to Bond one-on-one for a nice completion.
They're getting Ryan Micko in the game.
Extra O-lineman.
Along with the tight end Moore on second down and goal, and exactly that. Flags down.
And it might have been Micko, the new offensive lineman that came in the game. Maybe his first play of the game.
Start offense, number 53. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
They call it on the center, Alec.
Now that's the second time if it's on the center. That's the thing. He's not there. He's playing guard. Hard to tell. It looked like a lot of movement right in here.
It looked like Kevin Klein maybe was the guilty party.
Yeah.
But a big call, as now the second and goal, instead of it being at the 1-yard line, turns to second and goal from the 6-yard line.
Unbalanced to the left. 3 linemen there.
Lonergan pump, fire, touchdown! Jeremiah Franklin all alone. Fourth score of the day for Lonergan.
Well, we've seen twice Jordan Hall kind of out of position, mixed up on a throw to the back of the end zone. We saw the back of the end zone throw to Reed Harris, number 4, and that time we saw it to the tight end Franklin.
Extra point to send us to double overtime from Lombardo. And it is up and good. So we head to a second overtime here in East Lansing. A lot of credit to Dylan Lonergan, who just continues to be poised.
Now watch this combination now. A route here and a route here. And then watch this linebacker just kind of get caught up watching. And the tight end is going to go behind him to the back of the end zone. And Lonergan finds him. Good combination route between the big receiver and the tight end. Back of the end zone, high throw. And Lonergan on target for the tying touchdown here in overtime. 4 touchdowns for him as well. Both quarterbacks lighting it up tonight.
Will be on offense down that end of the field.
Dylan Lonergan, we asked him, why BC? Why did you make the decision to transfer? He said, well, I went through all my options after I realized the coaching staff at Alabama might be going in a different direction. But Bill O'Brien, combined with the academics at Boston College, is what swayed him.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, when you're watching him out on the field, it feels like he's breathing confidence into the rest of his team.
Yeah, you know, I talked to his dad, Dan, before the game. He said, we just loved Bill O'Brien. We loved him when he went to Alabama. I mean, that's a big reason why we went there. Of course, we love Saban, too. But now it's just been so good for him to be back. He's done so much for Dylan and his development as a quarterback. And you can just see, you know, this is how Bill O'Brien likes to coach quarterbacks. Teach them to work at the line of scrimmage, pre-snap. Know where you think you're going to go with the ball. Confirm it at the snap of the ball, and boom, the ball's out. You don't allow pressure to get in your face because you know where you want to go with the ball, and you get it out quickly.
Said he learned the mental aspect of the game from Nick Saban, the concepts of offensive football from Kalen DeBoer, and that pre-snap routine from Bill O'Brien. Quite the combination. Lonergan over the middle. Again, it's Franklin. 1st and goal.
Really nice design play. They play action pass, bring the quarterback out, and bring the backside tight end. We saw Michigan State run a similar play, but Franklin slipped all the way to the other side of the formation and kind of got lost behind the Michigan State defense. The other thing you see with a Bill O'Brien offense, working tight ends and backs, because he's always felt that linebackers in college football do not cover pass plays or backs and man coverage nearly as well as in the NFL.
Richard up the middle. Gets away. Richard to the end zone. Touchdown. Turbo turns on the speed for an 8-yard score.
Well, watch this play. Richards is going to kind of come in here and get lost, but watch Bond get a key block in the end zone. Richards is going to get lost. Michigan State can't find him. When he bounces out, Bond had gotten a big block, and Richards able to pop this into the end zone. Just keeps his feet moving. Michigan State doesn't know where he is until it's too late.
So the 2-point try here for Boston College. 0 for 2 on 2-point attempts last season.
Well, Bond and Franklin, those are your two guys. All right, here's Franklin here, Bond's up here.
Lonergan through his progressions. On the run, incomplete, knocked away by Amorion Smith.
Trying to get the ball to Bond, his main guy, and really tight coverage by Amorion Smith. He picks him up coming inside, he stays with him, and it helped that they got a little pressure. Van Sumeren forced Lonergan out of the pocket, and not able to make a great throw there, but excellent coverage on the 2-point play.
So Michigan State now in the position Boston College put themselves in on the first overtime, where they know exactly what they need. Down by 6, you need a touchdown, and you need the 2-point conversion.
Yeah.
Childs, after getting up gimpy at the very end of regulation, looked crisp in that first overtime. Let's see what he has in store. Kai Frazier has been mostly the workhorse in the backfield. Fake it to him on 1st down. Childs right in the pocket from Masunis.
And Masunis has been a good target for him on those bootlegs. They had a couple receivers deeper down the field, but a nice decision by Aiden Childs. Take what's there, get an 8 or 9 yard gain on your first play of this possession.
Goes down as a 9-yarder. 2nd down and 1.
Again, the legs of Aiden Childs, his ability to make plays in and out of the pocket, running or just extending plays, such a valuable asset in this part of the field.
Changing the play on 2nd and 1. Frazier, cut back, Frazier, 1st and goal.
Well, this is just good work. Again, the cutback. And on this one, Q Hutchins, watch him get upfield too far. And the back is going to cut right underneath him. Good job by Aiden Childs changing the play at the line of scrimmage. And Frazier almost takes it all the way to the end zone.
Maturation of this young man, still not even 20 years old. He turns 20 on Friday, September 12th. And a chance to get his team to 2-0 with a big win against an ACC opponent. They get Tullis in the game at 6'1", 227.
Bill O'Brien had to call a timeout because they didn't have enough guys on the field. BC was subbing late.
Timeout, Boston College.
He is irate. Frustration was pointed towards the officials.
Well, I don't know if Michigan State subbed, and maybe he didn't feel like he had enough time to get his guy on the field before the ball was snapped and had to use a timeout. There's the sub or a late. He left the pocket late, so that was a 12th guy. Was that a 12th guy in the huddle?
So you see, the point was they didn't hold after that late runoff from Michigan State, and that's where Bill O'Brien is upset. When the offense does make the sub, the defense is entitled to the time to get the equal substitution out. And B.O.B. felt like his team wasn't given that grace. So has to burn his only timeout, and it's 1st and goal. Tullis stays in there. What does Childs have in store here at home? Design run. Childs up the middle for the touchdown. It's Aiden all day in East Lansing.
You put the back in motion. That takes a defender out of the box. And then it's design quarterback run. You've got an extra blocker because it's the quarterback running and an easy touchdown for Aiden Childs. Motion removes a guy. Now you've got good numbers and a quarterback that loves to run the football.
This is for the game.
Now, I think in your 2-point, you got to put him on the move and give him a run-pass option in some form or fashion.
Play action.
Childs
for the win. Got it. Amari Kelly sends the Spartans to 2-0. Revenge as they take down Boston College. Jonathan Smith implored his team to play a full game. He called it full 4 quarters. He got even more than that. Double overtime victory, and Aiden Childs grew up in front of our eyes.
Some beautiful play action passing, play action faking, and this one was a thing of beauty.
Let's go to KT.
Coach, an absolute battle, double overtime. All you wanted was this team to play a solid 60 minutes. They did more for you tonight. What's your biggest takeaway?
Well, no question. It took more than 60 minutes, and really credit to both teams. This was a beautiful football game. Both teams going back and forth, finding a way to finish. Really proud.